Listening to 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what?
Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
And a handoff, Wiley. Wiley coming to the near side. He's at the 10, slips a tackle at the 5, diving for the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Arizona.
It's a big-time run by Mike Wiley. He gets the ball inside, cuts it back against the grain, makes two defenders miss, and just lunges into the end zone. Arizona again taking over this game.
And a happy post-Christmas to you. Can you move today? If you are moving, are you moving a little bit slower? Too much food maybe on Christmas Day, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. I got invited over to a party on Christmas Eve. It was called the Feast of Seven Fishes. It's an Italian Catholic tradition. I don't eat fish, but there was a whole lot of fish. There was a whole lot of people eating a whole lot of fish, and pasta too. And I think ate enough on Christmas Eve that eating even more on Christmas Day was maybe not the right decision for wanting to be able to move effectively on December the 26th. And then J-Dub over there. Welcome, J-Dub.
What's up?
I mean, you were like, are you from Whoville? Because you had like the roast beast.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness.
We went straight roast beast this year for sure. It turned out really good too. And you know, I've done a lot of turkeys over the years for Thanksgiving, but I haven't done a lot of roast beefs like that. But it turned out really good. Yeah, so we'll definitely have some of that left over for the next week or so.
Oh my gosh, I think I've got enough food to last me for about 2 weeks, or as our friend Buzz Jackson said, you probably have enough to last you to Valentine's Day. That might just be the case.
It was hard even getting to dinner, honestly, because Paige made this like sweet rolls with apple pie on top. So it's kind of like an apple pie, but made with cinnamon rolls as like the base of it. And we got into that a little bit before we got to dinner. So yeah, it was. I'm right there with you. A little slower today.
Yeah, moving a little slow, but feeling good as you normally do after a Christmas day with family, Christmas time, a holiday time with family and friends, and all kinds of good food for sure to put inside of your stomach. All right, we are back. We are back with DK on the Sports Tip today and tomorrow. Busy week. We'll dive into all of that we've got coming up. We've got a number of events happening still before we get to the end of this calendar year. There's a bowl game on the horizon on Thursday in San Antonio. We'll start talking about that. You'll hear from some of the players today on the Arizona football team that's going to play in a bowl game for the first time in 7 years. Well, 6 years. 2017. My math is never very good. 2017, the last time the Wildcats played in a bowl game. So 6 years removed from postseason competition. It was very interesting how Jedd Fisch put that. I don't know if I've ever heard a coach put it into perspective the way that he did in terms of categorizing the likes of an Arizona Wildcat team and the likes of, say, a Utah Utes program that has been to 6 straight bowl games and has essentially gotten, I think he said, a fall camp and a half more practices than this Arizona Wildcats football program over the last 6 years. I mean, that's amazing when you think about the fact that you don't go to a bowl game for 6 years. That's 14 practices, essentially, every single year that you are missing out on. because you're not, I mean, once your season is over, there's no structured football practice. You can train, you can work out, the guys can go to the field and throw passes and run routes to themselves, but there's no structured football practice going on if you're not in a bowl situation. That's 84 practices. Think about that. 84 practices that another program has a head start on you because you were not good enough to qualify to play in December or January, thus not able to practice in those months.
The crazy one to me, DK, was the juxtaposition of the original Alamo Bowl press conference we had over Zoom. And you had both Coach Fish and Coach Venables there. And Coach Fish said this is the first time, I don't remember the number, how many players on this roster had played in a bowl, but
like 6 maybe.
There you go. So like 0.5, like 5% of the players. Meanwhile, Coach Venables has not missed a bowl game since I believe the early 90s.
Wow.
As both an assistant and as a head coach. So you're right. Every single year, I've always heard the biggest advantage for those bowl teams is preparing the young players, the freshmen and sophomores on the roster for what they're going to get into as rotation players the next season. So without that extra practice time, DK, it's so hard to climb that mountain and get back to that status because everybody else almost has, it feels like a head start.
Yeah.
Like rich get richer type of situation.
Exactly.
Like it should be the opposite, where the teams that don't make bowls get extra practice time, and the teams that do make bowls, they get some kind of handicap. But that's not how it works.
No, that's why it's imperative. It's imperative to qualify for a bowl game, just so you can, for the betterment of your program in the long run, the development of like J-Dub said, your younger players, because that's essentially, I think, probably the first part of the bowl season is just about getting the young kids in there and getting them the techniques that they need to be working on.
Well, there's like
so important.
There's the huge bowls, right? And this even goes back before the college football playoff system that we currently know today. Even the big ones were always, the best players would always play.
Oh, yeah.
But beyond those 5 or 10 big bowls, everybody else, it felt like, always used as an opportunity to prepare the younger players for their bigger roles the next year. So they might play the seniors the first quarter, but it was less even so, DK, about winning the bowl game. Obviously, winning's always the goal, but it was about making sure that those younger players who you're going to have to rely upon, this was long before COVID eligibility and extra years eligibility and all this stuff. You got 4 years and you were gone. So it feels to me like most of the best programs have always used that period of time to prepare their young players for the bigger roles coming up in the future. And I just think it allows and affords Coach Fish and the coaching staff now, how many sophomores are on this team? And we heard about some of the freshmen later in the year who were just maybe getting their feet wet, even though obviously going and playing the Sooners, big bowl in the Alamo Bowl, it's always the goal to win the game. It's really nice to have this extra practice time, knowing that those seniors won't be on campus next year and making sure that they can help, along with the coaching staff, prepare the younger guys to keep building the program as they have been.
Michael Wiley, you mentioned that name. He is going to play in this bowl game on Thursday. He only one opt-out, and that's Jordan Morgan out of Marana High School, the left tackle for the Arizona Wildcats. As expected, he is, obviously being projected to be a potential first-round pick, probably first or second-round pick in the NFL draft. Coming off an injury, so probably not wise for him to risk another game before he has a chance to be drafted and signed on the dotted line to secure his future. So he is the only player not playing in this game. That's fine. I mean, you expect that nowadays from your top guys, for them not to play in these types of contests. Michael Wiley, though, a Texas kid, having a chance to go back to his home state and lead this team to a bowl game. And we can have this discussion. I mean, Michael Wiley only has 360 yards rushing this year. But I don't know that there is a player that is more important to this team. And we can debate Noah Fafita has been more important. But to me, if there is a more important overall person to this program, it has got to be Michael Wiley. I mean, you look at, and I've said it a number of times, look at the big games that this team has won over the last 3 seasons. Go back to the game that stopped the losing streak against Cal in 2021. Michael Wiley scores the go-ahead touchdown in the fourth quarter to help the Wildcats win that game. Go back to last year, beating ASU for the first time in 5 years. Michael Wiley runs for over 250 yards and scores 3 touchdowns. Go back to the first big win that started this streak, or really kind of continued the streak here this year, Oregon State. Michael Wiley has a big game that game. Playing through injuries all season. 2 more touchdowns against ASU. Michael Wiley. Michael Wiley, in my mind, has already cemented his legacy. His name is probably not going to show up at the top a lot of the career stat boards when it's all said and done. But in terms of a player being a part of a program turnaround, I think we're going to look back at Michael Wiley, and he is going to be considered one of the finer Arizona football players of all time for sticking with this. And you'll hear him coming up. I mean, and he was very honest about what this program was when Jedd Fisch took it over. So you'll hear from Michael Wiley coming up a little bit later today as well. Trayden Stukes. We're going to talk to Glenn Howe, Wildcat Breakdown, as we get you set. Jedd Fisch spoke after practice on Christmas Day. You will hear that. We'll get into Arizona basketball. Any lingering thoughts, any new thoughts on what's ailing the Wildcats, or what is good right now? What do you love most about where this team is positioned going into Pac-12 play? We can dive into all of that. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program today.
Did you say you also had a solution to what's ailing the Suns? Weren't you going to tell Tucson how to fix that situation too today at some point?
I don't know if I can fix the Suns right now, but I think there's a lot of people out there that have an idea maybe about how to fix the Suns, and that involves trading people. But again, that's how we think about things in sports. If it's not going right, let's trade somebody. Let's get them out of here and get some fresh blood in here to try to continue this thing moving forward. We are also going to have something to give away to you a little bit later. That young lady, her name is not Kim Adair. Let me get rid of that part right there. Her name is Cricket. Cricket's got some tickets coming up for you a little bit later today, as she always does. Happy post-Christmas day to you.
Happy Tuesday, I guess. Is that what today is? It's the Monday.
That's
Tuesday.
the thing.
Man,
it's like, I wasn't even sure. Like, it felt like, you go into these days and you're not really sure what day it is. Sometimes my mom was like, we were watching Monday Night Football. She thought, now granted, she's 88. She thought she was watching Sunday Night Football. She was like, well, where's what's her name that's on? Why is she not on tonight? I was like, Mom, because she's on Sunday Night Football, not Monday Night Football. So like, you never know what day it is.
Mm-hmm.
How was your holiday?
It was good.
Yeah.
How was yours?
It was
gentlemen?
Too much food.
Oh, good.
Too much food.
Good. That's how it should be, right?
We made my wife made tri-tip. J-Dub and Paige made a roast beast.
Oh, yeah.
Because did you know they're from Whoville?
Oh,
yeah.
Are you? Oh, that's perfect.
That's
then.
right. Right on that snowflake.
What would his name be? Give him a Whoville name.
Yeah, I don't know if John has a Whoville
Flip flop. John Who?
Sure.
Is that work?
J-Flop.
J-Flop.
I like that. That works.
J-Flop Who?
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll do it. I just need to get my nose.
I got to
fixed.
show you the picture of his roast beast. In case you didn't, I don't think you got this, Cricket. This was a monstrosity of meat.
Yep.
That he was cooking.
Yeah.
Look at this thing. Look at that thing right there.
Oh, wow. That looks big. How much did that weigh?
I don't even remember.
Good.
See if I can get that
Too
up
much
on
for
the
two
screen so the people can see it out there. Look at that. Look at that thing that J-Dub was cooking right there. Look at that roast beast. If you're watching, we are streaming this show right now. Head on over to YouTube. You can see a picture of J-Dub's roast beast along with, what do we got? Some potatoes and some carrots. And what else is inside that thing there, J-Dub?
Oh, all the roots, all the good root vegetables. That's
Yeah.
what you need.
All the carbs.
All the carbs.
Yum.
Yeah.
Cricket,
good
more
stuff
importantly,
there.
what I want to talk about is DK was invited to the feast of
7 fishes.
7 fishes.
By the Monaco family.
And he doesn't eat fish.
Oh, you don't? Oh, okay.
No, I don't eat anything out of the water.
So the Feast of 7 Fish is an Italian-American tradition,
Yeah.
kind of like Thanksgiving on Christmas, but it's a lot of
Okay.
seafood.
yeah.
And no go.
No, so I ate some of the pasta.
Mm.
Like I picked around the one pasta that had cheese on it because I become we'll get into this a little bit later. I become a professional at how to get to the part where there's no cheese on
Right.
stuff.
Oh.
Because I don't eat cheese either.
Yeah.
So I eat fish.
What's wrong with you?
I don't exactly. What's wrong with me? Exactly. I'm picky when it comes to my food. So yeah. It was just my wife was in heaven. She loves all kinds of fish. There was mussels and lobster and
Ew.
all kinds of. Are you a fish person?
Mussels doesn't sound good to me. Like the scallops and
Yeah, scallops and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
No,
not huge on fish.
no.
But I'd eat some like fish and chips from Trident.
Okay.
I don't even know what kind of fish that
Fish
is.
taco.
What did you?
that
So
would be
what did
good.
you eat last night? What was your thing? What did-
Macaroni and cheese.
you're a mac and cheese kind of person.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you make it yourself or no?
No.
Somebody else did the making of that.
Oh no, I just put it in the microwave.
Oh, you just put it in the microwave. So there was no big dinner, no big Christmas dinner for you, no?
No,
No? Okay. All right. Very good.
pretty lame.
Did you walk any dogs this weekend?
I
or
did on
Christmas
Christmas
dog
Eve.
walking?
Yeah,
Here or where at? Where
at
did
Pima Animal Care
Pima
Center.
Animal Care?
Yeah.
Outstanding. All right. Well, she is Cricket, walking her dogs as always, and getting you home every 20 minutes on the 5s with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Reported collisions on Silver Lake at I-10, Valencia east of Camino de Oeste, and a heads up in the area of Valencia and Nogales Highway in Valencia and Campbell. Speed enforcement zones this afternoon. Clear skies, 37 are low, mostly sunny, 63 tomorrow and 61 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer. As the world keeps changing, so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn more about a COVID-19 vaccine option at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
What makes 1290 different than any other radio station in Tucson? 1290 is the home of the Arizona Wildcats, the NFL, and the Super Bowl. Winner. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
What a lot of people don't realize is the new Chevys at O'Reilly Chevrolet make great stocking stuffers, especially when you happen to own stockings the size of a garage. Our red tag sale is going on now, and it's big, much like the price you'll get for your old vehicle. Your trade has never been worth more than it is this holiday season. Check out our red tag deals at O'Reilly.com, call 747-8000, or let us play Santa in person on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Find new roads today at O'Reilly Chevrolet.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Caruso's, a Tucson tradition since 1938, located on historic 4th Avenue. For 4 generations, Caruso's handmade sauce has been prepared with love by a family member, using only the best ingredients. Enjoy specialty Italian dishes like lasagna al forno, chicken tetrazzini, real Italian sausages, spectacular pizza, as well as many vegetarian options. Caruso's offers outdoor dining on their garden patio, with indoor dining also available. Open Tuesday through Sunday, with all your favorites available for takeout. For more information, call 520-624-5765 or visit their website at carusositalian.com.
How wrestling really works and how you get the ratings. Eric Bischoff and Conrad Thompson explain on 83 Weeks.
I mean, I dig Jey Uso because he's born out of great storytelling and he lived up to the opportunity and exceeded it. The LA Knight, he's way up on my list because here's a guy that's been around for almost ever, should have probably quit a half a dozen times, and he just forced his way into their life. And now he's making money hand over fist. That is a story I love.
83 Weeks on YouTube or wherever you listen.
Hey, did you guys know? Did you guys know the average person eats 9 spiders whenever I cook for them?
From his multiple Netflix comedy specials, Anthony Jeselnik brings his new stand-up tour, Bones and All, to Diamond Center Desert Diamond Casino, Sahuarita. Don't miss Anthony Jeselnik live on Saturday, February 3rd at 8 p.m. Purchase tickets at the Reward Center or at etix.com or anthonyjeselnik.com.
Wildcat fans, join head coach Adia Barnes and the Arizona women's basketball team in McKale Center this season. Season tickets are on sale now. You won't want to miss the fierce competition coming to Arizona. Season tickets are available now at ArizonaWildcats.com/WBK. Arizona women's basketball. Let's pack McKale Center.
Paid actor portrayal.
Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. In 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected.
Ethos fast and easy online term life insurance up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
When my daughter gets a cold, I have a secret weapon. DayQuil Kids Berry from Vicks. DayQuil Kids is specially formulated to treat kids' most bothersome cold and cough symptoms quickly. And the best part is that DayQuil Kids Berry tastes really great. Aren't you supposed to be resting? Maybe.
DayQuil Kids Berry. The kids' berrylicious daytime congestion, coughing, stuffy head, stuffy nose, just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6 years plus.
Wildcats fans from coast to coast can bring a little bit of Tucson to themselves wherever they happen to be by streaming 1290 on our website at wildcatsradio1290.com. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Dell Technologies semi-annual sale is on with limited quantity deals on top tech. Save on select PCs powered by the latest 12th gen Intel Core processors like thin and light XPS 13 laptops, Inspiron laptops, and 2-in-1s. Plus, get savings on select accessories, free shipping, and monthly payment options with Dell Preferred Account. Save today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener, here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yup, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Fafita rolls back, throws the pass, caught. McLaughlin dives for the end zone. Touchdown, Arizona. Tanner McLaughlin with his second TD of the day.
Arizona is just on. They've been so sharp today, and that was another example of it.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
All right, 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on today's program. Once again, as I was saying, we have a lot going on this week inside of Arizona Athletics. That's why we are here with you. We had initially, way back, thought we might be taking most of this week off. Obviously, this is the life in, especially when you work for the flagship station of a sports team. You never know exactly what the bowl schedule is going to be. We thought, we'll probably take most of post-Christmas off and then reconvene on the 29th. If there was nothing between the Arizona basketball team's game on the 23rd, which we knew in advance, and the next basketball game, which is coming up on Friday night on the 29th. But unfortunately, they dropped a bowl game right in the middle of that on the 28th of the month at the Alamo Bowl down in San Antonio. So we decided that we would be here this week to get you set for that. So we're going to have all kinds of bowl coverage coming up as well over the course of the next 2 days.
We should also mention it's not just any basketball games. This is the last trip to the Bay Area.
Yes,
the final season in the Pac-12.
The beginning of the end of Pac-12 conference play is this week. Friday night, the Wildcats will play at California. Sunday afternoon, they will play at Maples Pavilion against the Stanford Cardinals.
So many great memories.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. We can talk about those memories.
Yeah.
If you have this week of those two programs, we'll kind of do what we did in football throughout the year. If you have a memory of an Arizona basketball game against Cal, against Stanford, there were some great games against Stanford, as J-Dub has mentioned throughout the fall. I mean, Stanford could be considered for a large portion of that Pac-12 legacy, Pac-10 legacy, to have been a major rival of the Arizona Wildcats back during the Mike Montgomery days with Todd Lichty and all those people.
I think it's so age dependent, but most people who are old heads, who started following, the U of A when Lute really kind of took over, I think Stanford they'll consider the second biggest rival to UCLA. It's and that was because of the length of time, right? Montgomery was there for so long, 20 plus years, and they were always in the mix. It was always Stanford, UCLA, and Arizona at the top three. More recently, Oregon, Washington, Utah, some other schools, Colorado is trying to slip in there as a rival. But yeah, Stanford, I think most people would consider to be one of Arizona's chief rivals in basketball.
And we'll also give you our question of the day here coming up, because it was a very interesting Christmas Day. Normally, of late, Christmas Day has included just a lot of NBA basketball and not much NFL football. But yesterday was different. Yesterday we had a little bit of each. We had, 5 NBA games? J-Dub, beginning here at about, I believe, 9 or 10 a.m.
Yeah,
starting,
all day long.
I think even before I had even gotten out of bed, because I don't think I got out of bed till around 9:30. And then 3 NFL Monday games yesterday. So our question of the day is, did you watch more NFL or NBA on Christmas Day? Head on over right now to our Twitter account, and you can vote in our poll that is up right now at Wildcats 1290. Did you watch more NFL or NBA on Christmas Day? And of course, I try to, I like to give you 4 choices here. So I threw in 2 more. I threw in Christmas shows. Did you watch Christmas shows? I think J-Dub is in that camp. Or none of the above. Did you watch no NFL, no NBA, and no Christmas shows on Christmas Day?
We watched the final game of the day. Other than that, we watched all the Christmas movies.
Oh, okay.
Just nonstop Christmas
We'll have to get into that a little bit later. You have a list. I heard it was north of 10.
I had to make a list because it was so long I couldn't even remember them all, DK. I had to make a list.
I did not watch any Christmas shows yesterday. Normally, I'll watch maybe 1 or 2, but that was the thing. Normally, I might watch 1 or 2 because I'll get tired. I might watch because again, I'm not one of those people that's going to watch a lot of events, sporting events of teams that I don't have a dog in the fight.
Sure,
kind of thing. But I did kind of yesterday because Mom wanted to watch sports, so we kind of just had on the various games and whatnot. So normally I'll sneak in maybe a sappy Lifetime movie about the guy that goes home to the small town in the mountains and falls in love with the girl who runs a business or, works at the local radio station kind of thing. You ever watch any of those movies, J-Dub?
The movie about the pretty girl who falls in love with the guy who runs a radio station? I don't think I've ever seen that movie, no. But yeah, I mean,
we might be able to make that here.
Sure, let's do it. Yeah, I mean, I like to think I'm a pretty big connoisseur of just media in general. I don't watch like the Lifetime. If it's like B or C quality, I'm not into it. But I feel like at some point in my life, I've watched most of the holiday movies.
Yeah, we should ask that question. That should be our what's your favorite sappy Lifetime Christmas movie storyline? Like there was one I watched last year about the guy and his family owns a business. And the girl comes from the corporation. They want to buy out the company and make it a part of theirs. And she goes to the town and she falls in love with the CEO's son who runs the business there. And so she tries to convince her company not to take them over and destroy the whole thing. That.
I think most Lifetime movies fall in the same category. It's like some kind of suburban, mischief leads to a misunderstanding that has some drama.
And there's always a what do they call it in the small towns where people gather?
Square.
There's always a town square with a Christmas program going on.
Yeah,
always. I mean, I don't think I've ever been to one of those towns, but it makes you want to go to one of those towns and just see if it's actually real. You know what I mean?
I think it's kind of romanticized a little bit, but yeah, probably a lot of small towns do have.
And
those
there's
kind of
always
traditions.
snow. There's always snow.
Always, yeah.
Always snow.
Because snow means it's the holiday season.
Right.
Okay,
It
that's
wouldn't.
how
It wouldn't
TV
be.
works.
It wouldn't be It wouldn't be a Lifetime sappy holiday movie if there wasn't snow involved.
No.
You couldn't do that like at Sun City or someplace like that.
No, you could not. It's hard to like read on visually. I mean, if you're a producer and you're doing TV or movies, it's hard to read holidays in the desert. It doesn't really show up very well visually. No.
All right. So right now, we'll give you the early results of our contest here. Right now, and this is not necessarily surprising to me. 60% right now of our voters say they watched the NFL. 8% say they watched the NBA. And it's tied 16% saying Christmas shows and none of the above. I watched mostly NFL yesterday. We watched by the time we got up, I cooked some breakfast, got mom up, and we opened the presents. So by the time we got to the television, we were watching the second half of the Raiders-Chiefs game. Shout out Antonio Pierce. Beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Raiders, I think they had lost something like 15 games in a row or something against the Kansas City Chiefs. So shout out to Antonio Pierce going on the road and getting the Chiefs so frustrated that Travis Kelce was throwing his helmet on the sideline and Taylor Swift was consoling Brittany Mahomes in the suites.
Yeah, I mean, holding them to 14 points.
I mean, you want to talk about I might as well have been watching a soap opera.
Yeah,
I mean,
right.
I thought, was I watching an NFL game or was I watching a soap opera?
Well, it's funny because I think, I have this conversation with Paige quite a bit because she has some, quote, guilty pleasure TV she watches, like Real Housewives and such. And I always tell her, I say, if you because she really kind of fell in love with the U of A basketball program over the years. Caleb Tarzewski was her favorite player. And I tell her at moments where she's watching her favorite players lose their final game of their college eligibility.
Yeah.
And the feeling she gets. And I say in those moments, I'm like, hey, real life, and especially some of these sports, if you really get into it, has so much more real drama you'll find. And if you're a fan of the Kelce brothers, if you're a fan of Taylor Swift or whatever, in that moment, clearly that game and what's happening on the field is far more dramatic than anything else, right?
There was that small sliver of time when my wife did turn on her soap opera, The Bold and the Beautiful.
Well, I mean, I think if you had an other option of what you watched yesterday and soap operas was on there, you probably have a higher percentage as well.
I think that was a recorded show, but that's fine. Yeah.
Same thing.
Still got to watch
I do have the actual complete list of games played on Christmas between the NFL and the NBA if you're interested.
Oh, I want to know what the ratings were though. Do you have the
I don't. I have to look it up. I don't know if the ratings come in that fast.
Yeah. That's what I was interested to see what the ratings would be.
What I do know is that there have been much fewer NFL games. And think about that logically is because Christmas has to fall on a weekend because they're not going to play a game on a random Wednesday or Friday evening and just because. So the only NFL games that can be played on Christmas is when Christmas falls on the weekend and if they choose to. So the history of it only goes back to the 70s. They had playoff games on Christmas Day.
Right.
But the actual Christmas Day didn't begin until the late 80s. 1989 was the first regular season Christmas Day in the NFL. Meanwhile, the NBA, I didn't realize this till yesterday. I had to look it up. The NBA has been playing Christmas Day games since the inaugural season, 1949.
Wow.
And they've played every single Christmas Day NBA games except for the lockout of 89.
See, I would not have known that.
Every single Christmas Day. Not only that, but I was under the impression, because I remember the 80s and 90s, it would be two teams, kind of an exclusivity kind of thing. No, I'm going back and looking at the first year. Chicago Stags lost to the Baltimore Bullets. The Providence Steamrollers lost to the Knicks. The Washington Capitals lost to the St. Louis Bombers. Those three games all occurred on Christmas Day, 1947.
That's insane.
Every year since. And it's been at least 5 or 6 games every Christmas Day for the NBA since, except for a brief period. Looks to be about 1986 is when they started doing 2 games. They did that up until the early 2000s, 2007. And then they've played 4 or 5 games ever since.
See, I don't, and that's about the time I remember the NBA on Christmas was probably in the late 80s. I don't ever remember as a kid watching the NBA on Christmas Day, like in the 70s. I don't remember doing that. Now, obviously, I was a kid, so maybe I was not that interested in the NBA at that time, but I don't even remember. Like, you remember, like, I can remember Thanksgiving Day as a kid,
Sure.
NFL being on.
Yeah.
I do not remember NBA being on Christmas Day as a kid, though.
Well, I think if they had paired it tradition-wise, like the NFL does, because they've got the two teams that play every Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
right? And if the NBA did that, I'm
Because
looking
you
at
knew it was going to be the Redskins and the
There
Cowboys,
you
or the
go.
Lions and the Cowboys.
There's
or
no
whatever.
rhyme or reason
Yeah.
for the NBA scheduling. I mean, I don't see any, and it's not even like there's a lot of marquee stuff. Maybe more recently they have done it that way. I think this year was a lot of marquee matchups of previous teams like Knicks, Bucks, Warriors, Nuggets. Obviously, that was a big one last year. That was yesterday. Lakers, Celtics, as we all know, the biggest rival in the NBA. Those all took place yesterday. But going back to like the mid 80s, it's just kind of random.
Yeah.
The teams that played each other. Cavs, Hawks played in 89, 90. That was the only game played on Christmas Day. Cavaliers and Hawks.
I think I remember that game.
That age-old rivalry between those two franchises.
Yeah, that was back. Well, that I'm imagining that would have been a Dominique Wilkins and those
Doherty,
good Cavs teams of Doherty
Oh, yeah.
and Price and all those. Yeah, that was the Cavs
Tail
were
end of
rolling
that,
then.
Yeah, 89, 90. Tail end. That was Steve Kerr, I think, was rookie year with the Cavs.
That was
before he
when
went
you
to the
got.
Lakers.
That was when you felt like, man, if your team got an
Suns.
NBA game, you were something. I mean, now it's just like seems like it's. It doesn't, like you said, it doesn't mean as much anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day, if your NBA team was playing on Christmas Day, you were like, wow, man, we might have a good team, or they think we're really good this year because we're playing on Christmas Day.
And I think that's my whole point of pointing this out is that if there's two games, then it becomes, wow, let's go tune into the games or the game that's on today. And that's how it feels for Thanksgiving with NFL. But as soon as you start marketing 5 games and you're just doing, it's basically dawn to dusk, DK. I mean, it's as soon as you can possibly put a game on in the morning, they do. And then they have them all at, like yesterday was all on ABC, ESPN type of thing. So it was all in the same networks all day long, just cover to cover coverage. And, I guess that's one thing. But again, 8% of the pollsters are responding that they watched NBA yesterday, right? I mean, this time of year, most people are focused on college bowl games. They're focused on the impending NFL playoff situation and what's going on there. People don't usually start paying attention to the NBA until after the All-Star break. But, yeah, the whole point, I think, is tradition with the NBA and Christmas goes way back.
All right, shoot me a text at 520-848-1290 if you want to download our app. I'll send you a link to do that. I'll also shoot me a text if you want me to show J-Dub's roast beast again in front of the camera, and I'll do that for you on one of our many video streams. We are videoing this show right now on Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter at Wildcats 1290 on Twitter, at Wildcats Radio 1290 on Facebook Live, Twitch, and YouTube. Getting you home every 20 minutes on the fives with your traffic and your weather. Let's hear from Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together with reported collisions, Silver Lake at I-10. Also a crash that occurred Valencia east of Camino de Oeste. Weather-wise, our clear skies, low at 37, mostly sunny and 63 tomorrow, and 60 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer.
Time is of the essence with COVID-19. Prescription oral treatment must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms. If you have a high risk factor, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Learn more at treatcovid19.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life. Especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded.
We're going abroad for the first time in years. To Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Start learning a new language today at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Coach Red Tag here, reminding you there's a Red Tag sale at O'Reilly Chevrolet going on right now with an additional $1,000 O'Reilly cash on any new and used models. That's showing a good attitude on the part of the parents.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Don't go through another year with that awful joint pain. Call QC Kinetics right now and make 2024 the year you are back living normal life again. Hey, it's David Kelly. QC Kinetics can give you your life back. They are the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. These are all natural treatments that can repair and restore that damaged tissue, giving you pain-free movement once again. If you've got pain from an old injury or pain associated with arthritis, you need to check this out. The future of medicine is here. Regenerative treatments from QC Kinetics. Make the call now so you can get the most out of this next year. Get back to doing what you love. And don't forget, you can use your HSA and your FSA. All those funds can go to QC Kinetics. Call them for a free consultation. 2 locations here in Tucson, off of Academy, off of Orange Grove. 520-497-4955, 520-497-4955, QC Kinetics.
1290 brings you the passion of football like no one else.
Pittsburgh 12, 3rd and 7 for Mahomes. In the gun, flanked by the running back McKinnon. Shotgun snap, they rush 5, pump fake in a line, drive into the end zone, over the shoulder, catch in the back corner. It is caught for the touchdown! Grabbed by Pringle.
This season, 1290 will bring you almost 100 NFL and college football games. It's not flexing, it's just the truth. Scoreboard 1290, Wildcats Radio 1290.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life. Especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded.
Are you ready to adopt? Come to the Humane Society of Southern Arizona. When you adopt from us, you will save more than one life. You'll also make room for the next pet in need. The Humane Society of Southern Arizona has been compassionately serving pets and the people who love them since 1944. Our knowledgeable adoption matchmakers will help you find the right pet for your home and support you after you adopt. We are open 7 days a week at our main campus at 635 West Roger Road. Learn more and see adoptable pets at hssaz.org.
You may not have any experience dealing with car wrecks, but Lerner and Rowe does. After your car wreck, you need an attorney to make sure your interests, like car repairs, medical bills, and lost wages, are protected. Finding the right attorney is actually easy. Just look for reputation, experience, and results. Lerner and Rowe has thousands of 5-star reviews, decades of experience, and we've recovered billions of dollars for our injured clients. Hurt in a wreck and need a check? Call Lerner and Rowe today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Yeah, Saturday in the park in Tucson this week is going to be the Arizona Bowl, and the park is going to be Arizona Stadium. Get your tickets now at thearizonabowl.com to fill up the stadium. Wyoming versus Toledo. We'll get into some of that information as well. The teams are arriving today. I believe Wyoming arrived a little bit earlier today. I believe the Toledo Rockets will be in here by the evening. We'll talk a little bit about that schedule as well. 520-848-1290 is the number for you to get in on the program today. Our question of the day, again, we'll reset that. Did you watch more NFL or NBA on Christmas Day? You can head on over to our Twitter page at Wildcats1290. Vote there. Right now, 60% of the folks saying they watched more NFL. And just 8% saying they watched the NBA. And again, we watched, at my house, we watched the last part of most of the second half of the Kansas City Raiders game. Watched that. And then we dove in for our only basketball of the day. We watched the first few minutes of the Golden State and Denver game. I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. We watched the end of the Golden State Denver game, I believe, first, then went to the football game, then went to the first part of the next game, which I believe was the Lakers and the Celtics, and then back to football for the rest of the day. We watched the first half of the Philadelphia-New York game, and then most of the game between the Ravens and the 49ers at night, and then I watched kind of the end of the Suns game after everybody else had gone to bed.
That was not a good
night.
end of that Suns game.
No, not at all. The Suns are reeling right now. They've lost 9 of their last 12 games. So if you want to talk about that, we can get into that as well. 520-848-1290. But we also must talk about football as it relates to our Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. I had a pretty lengthy win streak going, 3 in a row, plus a bye, had taken our pot up to was it 100 or 125?
100.
$100.
Yep.
$100, a gift card up for grabs last week. And let's bring back the gentleman who played in the most recent Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. His name is Peter Martucci. Peter, how are you? Welcome back to Wildcats Radio 1290.
Hey, I'm doing good. How are you guys?
We are
Merry
doing
Christmas.
very good. So Peter called up last, I believe it was Tuesday, was our last show, so about a week ago, and we did the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. And let's hear how that went down and what the game I selected and the team that Peter selected to go against me with. Are you taking the Jaguars or the Buccaneers this Sunday?
Well, Jacksonville does have a good road record, but I'm going to take Tampa Bay.
Ooh, you're going with Baker Mayfield, the quarterback I love to hate, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Why do you like the Bucs in this game?
I don't know. I just I have this feeling that Jacksonville's been going through some struggles. Trevor Lawrence isn't 100%, and Tampa Bay is always a tough place to play, no matter what their record is.
There you go. It is indeed. And so, congratulations, Mr. Martucci. The Buccaneers kicked the Jaguars' butt 30-12. You are a winner in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge, a $100 gift card courtesy of Miller Lite. How about that?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Thanks. That's awesome.
What'd you think of Baker Mayfield and his performance against the Jaguars?
Well, I mean, look, he converted a lot of third down. He protected the ball, and every time he threw it, he seemed to hit like Mike Evans or Godwin in the right spots. And that's it. That was my feeling going into the game, was that Tampa Bay is tough to play in to begin with. And they protected the ball. I think Trevor Lawrence had, 2 interceptions and a fumble?
Yeah, and he left the game hurt again.
You can't do that in the NFL. It just doesn't work. But
this
good
team
victory for us.
Yeah, that team was 8-3 at one point. They have now lost 4 games in a row. 3 of those games came to AFC North teams as they lost consecutive games to the Bengals, the Browns, and the Ravens. And now this loss to the Buccaneers has really put a damper on what looked like a promising season for the Jaguars and Trevor Lawrence, as he's been kind of knocked around the last few weeks in several of these losses. So congratulations again, James. I want to ask you a question, James. Are you Italian? I'm sorry, Peter.
I am, yeah.
Peter, are you Italian?
I am.
Peter, has your family ever celebrated the Feast of the Seven Fishes on Christmas Eve?
When I was a kid, younger, way younger, yes.
Outstanding. What do you remember about that?
A lot of seafood.
A lot of fish.
A lot of seafood. Are you a fan of that, or did that kind of or did you become not a fan of seafood after that?
No, I love seafood.
Oh, okay. All right. I went to a Feast of Seven Fishes on Christmas Eve, but I don't eat fish, so I had pasta instead.
And nothing wrong with that.
No, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Peter, again, you can pick up, I believe we have your information. JW, you've got his information. So, Peter, you can pick up your $100 gift card here at the station. You know where we're located, 575 West Roger Road, just west of Oracle, between the hours of, I'd say, come between 10 and 5 generally. But obviously, we may be, this is maybe a shorter week, I think, towards the tail end.
I'll text him and
make
let
sure
him know,
you get, if you're going to come Friday, you might want to come before noon.
Yeah.
All right.
Sound
Sounds
good?
Well, thanks.
All right, Peter, congratulations, brother.
Thank you, guys. Have a happy New Year.
You too.
You too,
Peter
Peter.
Martucci is a winner in the Miller Lite Pig Skin Challenge. We will do this because, again, this week we only have shows today and tomorrow. So we will do the Miller Lite Pig Skin Challenge tomorrow, and it'll be back to $25, the gift card. Tune in to DK on the Sports Tip tomorrow to compete in the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. You can win money this football season by placing a bet on the right team. I pick the game. Can you pick the winner? If so, you'll walk away next week. There's only 2 weeks left to go. So we'll have next week and the week after that with a $25 gift card courtesy of Miller Lite. We've got more information on the Miller Lite Pigskin Challenge. Just head on over right now to our website, WildcatsRadio1290.com.
I don't think there's any doubt what of the two sports Peter was watching on Christmas Day.
No, I meant to ask him.
Broke it down pretty clean.
He
so
did.
I think he was watching NFL.
He broke it down indeed. He knew exactly what was happening there. All right, Arizona football is playing in a bowl game on Thursday for the first time in 6 years. They worked out today and yesterday in San Antonio. The Wildcats flew down to Texas on Saturday, the 23rd. They've been down there. They had Christmas down there. They had a Christmas morning practice, and after that Christmas morning practice, Jed Fish had some comments with the media down in San Antonio.
For an awfully crisp, cool morning, South Texas-wise, how'd practice go today from a coach's perspective?
Yeah, well, first of all, Merry Christmas, and thanks for coming out here and being a part of our practice today. It was great practice, great energy out here, good Christmas songs playing in the background. Kids had great spirit, and we wound up having a good hour and a half of meetings this morning and good practice today. So we're excited about heading to SeaWorld and then enjoying a little bit of Christmas together.
How is everybody reacting right now as we get closer and closer? Is the intensity starting to amp up? Are people starting to get a little bit antsy? They want to start hitting somebody else? Or is coach still like, no, we could still use as many of these practices as we can get?
No, I think we're all at a point now we want to go play a game. And, we've had 2 good physical, spirited practices in pads. So tomorrow we'll take the pads off and we'll run around a little bit and work on some things tomorrow. But we're ready. We're ready to go play a game. We want to go play a game. And I think so do our players.
At this point, how much are you really, is this just kind of like really kind of just fine-tuning a couple of little things here and there? Or are you still trying to, let's work on this, because maybe something else that you're seeing in film that you didn't see earlier?
Yeah, I think a lot of it right now is you're you spend your first week of last week we installed the game plan and practiced at our place, and we did a 5-day practice routine, and then came here and did what will end up being a 4-day practice routine. And most of it's though just kind of refining it and seeing what looks good and what doesn't, and what do we need to remove and what should we take out, and not much adding at this point.
Have you started to think, without giving away any secrets, have you started to think about maybe what your last message will be on the last practice, especially for some of these seniors that they're going out on such a great note, maybe what their message is going to be to these guys to, hey, enjoy, but let's go get this?
Yeah, I'm just still trying to work through, make sure I got enough tissues in my pocket for that one. But, I care so much about this team, and this team has done so much for our program, for our community, for the university. And just for the idea to be able to have one more practice tomorrow and then a walkthrough in the Alamo Dome, I think I'll probably save that message for them.
Are you going out to SeaWorld? Are you going to be able to get out there?
Yeah,
or?
I think I'm going to put my game plan together, and then this is kind of the first break of the action that I've had. So I'm going to do that and let our team go out there and our coaches go out there. My family will be out there, though, for sure, so it'll give me a couple hours alone to look at some film finally.
Any words of advice for any of these guys? Don't get into the pool with any of the killer whales?
Yeah, avoid the sharks and whales, right? But no, I want them to have a great time and embrace the moment, have fun. You know, the Valero Alamo Bowl has been amazing to us. So we're just enjoying every day we're here, and we're going to continue to enjoy it.
Could you want to follow up what Jack said about Wiley? Could you kind of, because somebody's been with the program for so long, and you're
Sure.
talking about that. I mean,
About Mike Wiley?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And Noah kind of brought it up as how important you want to send somebody that's been so dedicated.
Yeah, you know, there's no question. Well, first of all, Mike Wiley's from Texas, so the idea that we're our captain, our running back that's been in the program for 5 years, a guy that has really dedicated himself to being a part of this and seeing it through. This is his first bowl game in all of his time. To be able to be a part of this and to be able to really send him off with a win and send him off with into his next life, or hopefully an NFL life, which I believe it will be, with a positive momentum would be just phenomenal.
All right, that is the head coach of the Arizona Wildcats, Jedd Fisch. That was after practice on Christmas Day. And there was another availability to later this afternoon with some of the coordinators, the two coordinators, as well as some of the offensive and defensive players. We'll see if we can get you some sound from that coming up a little bit later in the show. Next hour, we'll continue to talk more Arizona football. We'll dive into the Arizona men's basketball team coming off their loss in double overtime on Saturday to Florida Atlantic. Is the sky falling for Tommy Lloyd and his team? We'll dive into that.
You know,
want to hear your thoughts at 520-848-1290.
You know who doesn't think the sky is falling is AP voters. Did you see that?
Yeah, AP voters kept the Wildcats at number 4.
Arizona loses in double overtime. They didn't move at all. Same spot.
No.
Florida Atlantic rose 7 spots. So
Yeah.
that's what they think about Arizona's loss to Florida Atlantic.
There you go. And some gifts handed out courtesy of the Pac-12 today. We'll get into that at the top of the next hour as well. It's DK on the Sports Tip. He's J.W. Madden. She's Cricket. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. New collision reported Irvington near I-19 on Irvington to the west of I-19. Also crash clearing Silver Lake at I-10 on Silver Lake at I-10. And weather-wise, mostly clear skies, 37 the low, mostly sunny and 63 tomorrow and 60 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer.
Traffic can slow you down, and so can COVID-19. Don't delay. Prescription oral treatment must be taken within the first 5 days of symptoms. If you're at high risk, ask your doctor if treatment is right for you. Visit treatcovid19.com, sponsored by Pfizer.
They say time flies like a sparrow.
And fruit flies like a banana. We're off to a great start.
If you two don't mind, I'd like to tell our customers about something they won't do in 2024.
I'm not doing a lot of things. Like changing your socks.
Guys, I'm talking about no payments or interest for a full year on a new system.
Oh, people are going to like that. You should tell them.
As I was saying, Alaskan AC can install a brand new heating and air system and have no payments or interest for a year.
365 days. 12 months.
You'll get all the comfort, and you won't write a check for a whole year.
Ha! Ron still writes checks. He's so old, the first picture of him was an oil painting.
You guys having fun?
I never have fun. I'm having a little fun.
This is big. With approved credit, get a spanking new furnace and AC system. No payments or interest for a year.
Spanking new? Ron talks old-timey.
Schedule your appointment today, whenever you want, online at AlaskanAC.com.
Everyone is talking about the Cats and where to find them on the radio.
Wildcat Radio, 1290 AM on your dial, just talking all day long.
Keep your radio locked to 1290 so you don't miss any of the action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
You know how we Wildcats love our games. And there's no place better, closer, or safer to game than Desert Diamond Casinos. Filled with hundreds of the newest, loosest slots, dozens of your favorite table games, and superior food and beverage options. Desert Diamond is the #1 destination for your free time fun festivities. Bear down for the best time in Tucson. Go to Desert Diamond Casinos. Go Cats!
Hi, this is Tim Couch, retired NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, partner at Meridian Wealth Management, and proud member of Meridian's Tucson Advisory Business Council. It's my favorite time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Remember to tune in to Wildcats Radio 1290 for the biggest pregame show in the Pac-12. Because that's how we roll. We go on the air 4 hours before every football and men's basketball game all season long. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
The colors of this holiday season are green and red, which is perfect because right now at O'Reilly Chevrolet, we're having a red tag sale and you can save lots of green. The best news, your current vehicle has never been worth more than it is right now. So this holiday season, give us a call at 747-8000 or go to O'Reilly.com. Or better yet, see us in person on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Find new roads and something new for the holidays that will last for years to come at O'Reilly Chevrolet.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Hi, it's Floyd, the family man with the family plan. Outdated HVAC systems will drive up your electric bill, drain your wallet, and peace of mind. Save now at Goodfellas with no payments or interest till 2024. Get a 30% federal tax credit, up to $2,000 off qualifying heat pumps. Trust Goodfellas. We're locally owned with thousands of 5-star reviews. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Visit us at goodfellasac.com to schedule a no-cost estimate.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona football, along with Arizona football play-by-play. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener. Here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson. Duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but 3 first names, David Scott Kelly.
Bradley one, bound to Bradley Boswell. Boswell to the top of the key. Boswell over to Love. A deep 3 outside, rims out, no good, and that's it. The Owls win it. Well, Love, and he's made them before from out there. This one skims out. A 2 overtime thriller here in Las Vegas. Florida Atlantic beats Arizona 96-95.
Arizona men's basketball will enter Pac-12 conference play at 9-2 after that loss to Florida Atlantic over the weekend. The Owls now ranked number 7 in the country, up from 14. Arizona holding tight at number 4 despite that loss. A split of the week, beating Alabama and losing the game to Florida Atlantic. Is the sky falling? Is the question that I asked at the end of the last hour. Just judging by the reactions of some of the fan base on Saturday, you would think that the sky is falling. And again, this is a team right now in Arizona basketball that is 9-2. They played a killer schedule, a schedule that we all lauded Tommy Lloyd for putting together. We spoke on Saturday. They didn't have to play that game against Florida Atlantic. But again, it's an opportunity to really test yourself against not only a team that went to the Final Four, but a team that brings the entirety of that, pretty much the entirety of that Final Four team back again, and who's likely to make another deep run in the NCAA tournament this year. And there were 11 games, of which 6 of those 11 games were played against marquee competition, and the Wildcats went 4-2 in those games. Now, it is fair. It is very fair at this particular moment to ask yourself if this basketball team can win 6 games in a row in March. It's fair to do that. We don't want to necessarily overanalyze what happens in November and December because teams are still finding each other and getting to know each other. And teams are often very different come February and March than they are in December and November. But it's still fair to ask yourself, based on what we've seen, one, do you believe this team can win 6 games in a row come March? And based on what you've seen, what has to change for this team to win 6 games in a row come March? 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get on the program. One thing that I said on Saturday, and if you weren't with us after the game on Saturday, I'll repeat it here. I don't right now believe there's enough guys who can make big shots for this team when it matters. We saw Caleb Love. He's not afraid to pull the trigger whenever necessary. He's not maybe going to make all those shots, but hey, they would not have even been in double overtime had it not been for Caleb Love down the stretch, doing what he did, making both long-range shots, getting to the line, which I say continues to be important for him, as well as penetrating and making a few of the runners. Didn't make all the runners, didn't make all the floaters, but did make some of those down the stretch to help get this team into that overtime extra session. Who are those other guys, though? Who are those other guys that you're comfortable with taking that shot late if the Wildcats need that shot? Is it Pelle Larsson? Is it Kylan Boswell, who obviously has struggled a little bit the last few games in his first year as a starting point guard? Is it Jaden Bradley, who's made a couple of big shots down the stretch? Is it one of those guys? Is there a consistent guy outside of Caleb Love that you feel comfortable with being able to make that big shot when it matters? You can win. Now, granted, Arizona didn't win the first game last year based on talent. They should have. You can win that first game in March based on your talent. But it's those last 5 where it gets dicey. And it's fair to ask, can this team win those last 5 based on what we've seen through these first 11 games?
Yeah, to me, it's not even about talent. It's about style. And the NCAA tournament affords a team that's going to win 6 games. You're going to come up against different styles. And what happened with the Buffalo game, which we talked quite a lot about, was the worst possible style for that Arizona team to see. Last year's Princeton team, DK, with all those different sets, really hard to guard. And for that particular Arizona team, without a lot of strong perimeter defenders, they struggled. This year's team is not like either of those two teams. This year's team is set up to be able to beat any single style. That's the beauty of the 2023-24 Arizona Wildcat basketball team. To me, it's not even about making shots, is making layups. 15 of 27 layups in that game versus Florida Atlantic. They missed 12 layups and 2 dunks. And the other side of that coin is the defense. I think what I saw in that loss, especially late in the game, late in the second half, and in both overtimes, they really did I wouldn't say poor, but they didn't do an effective job of limiting Florida Atlantic scorers on the wing from getting to their spots and getting comfortable. So I think when it really boils down to why Arizona lost that game, all of the key factors were there outside of taking care of finishing possessions on the defensive end. Because if you really go back and watch some of those shots that they let them get to their preferred spots. You know what I mean? John L. Davis got to that left hand, especially in the key, too many times late in the game, and was just effective at maintaining a lead is really what it was. Every time Arizona seemed like they might get out to a 2, 3, 4 point lead, Florida Atlantic retook the lead and put buckets on them, and it was just John L. Davis more than anything, and Jalen Gaffney making big shots as well. So to me, it's quite simple, DK. You've got a situation where Arizona brings in how many new players? How many players in this year's roster did not factor into the rotation last year? Kylan Boswell obviously is in that conversation, but maybe half the year last year who's in the rotation. So it's still a matter of working guys into a system where they haven't played with each other. So I don't look at December, November games and factor that into what the team will look like in March. You got to look your best towards the end of the season as a team and have the ability to take on multiple styles, multiple defenses, multiple offenses that you're going to see throughout the course of the regular season. I mean, throughout the NCAA tournament. And that's obviously the biggest goal. So any panic that's happening right now is valid if you're looking at that game and you're like, why can't, Boswell make threes? Why can't they stop a guy who's 6'4" from scoring in the paint, right? Like, those are questions that the Arizona fan base can have. But to me, it's really not about panicking because of losing a game to a very, very good. Number one, 14 out of 15 players from that Final Four team returned to that Florida Atlantic roster. So the Owls are super deep and experienced with guys who've played in big games. Arizona, should have, could have, would have won that game if not for a few possessions. It's not a panic moment for me. It's just about making sure that when it comes down to it, you're able to take on varying styles and be confident in how you run your offense. They got a little caught up in the one-on-one stuff versus Alabama and Florida Atlantic to my liking. Only 18 assists on 95 points scored in that double overtime game, DK. You got to make sure that whatever happens, you don't settle for one-on-one long jumpers when you can get some kind of screen action and get those secondary passes. Finding the open, passing up a good look for a better look is a base philosophy of Coach Lloyd's system. I haven't seen that as much against Alabama and Florida Atlantic. They got caught up a little bit in that. But long term, I mean, I'm not worried. I have 0% worry about this Arizona Wildcats team being their best version of themselves moving forward. They just have a couple things to clean up. Boswell needs to be able to take those shots confidently. He is the best shooter on the team. I mean, Kylan Boswell is the best shooter on this Arizona basketball team. So whatever numbers we've seen these last two games, I'm not worried about it. He just has to stay confident and keep letting him go.
520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 if you want to get in on this Arizona basketball conversation. Again, a split. Alabama was a win. Florida Atlantic was a loss. But there was some hardware that came out of this week. Hardware from one of your favorite Arizona big men.
Leave it off for Lewis. Inside Ballo. Got around the defense. Slam it home for two.
Settle in. Find your big man. Get Alabama caught on the high side. Throw it over the top.
Rebound tipped out to Larson. And to Bradley. Jaden will drive inside. Shovel it up. Ooh, a little too strong. There's Ballo for the follow. And the Cats get an offensive rebound. And 2 points. The Cats get it inside to Ballo. Knocked away. Got it back and laid it in. By Umar so far. If you get him the ball, he's going to score. 68% shooter. Boswell will bring it up court. Nelson picking him up. Whistle off the ball and a foul.
It looked like a hack of Ballo. Just went and grabbed Umar Ballo. And I think they're rolling the dice here to try to get the possession and put Arizona's poorest free throw shooter at the line.
It's up and good.
Best way to foil that plan, make your free throw.
Jaden will drive inside. Roy up no good. The tap is good by Umar Ballo. And the Wildcats are up 17-3 here. Feed it for Rosado. Drives on Ballo. Fumble the ball. Loose picked up by Umar. Another turnover for Florida Atlantic. Arizona with the ball. Bradley will take it down forecourt right. Hand it off to Love. Circles top. Shoots the rainbow three. Got it. Drives him down left side. Lean in shot blocked by Ballo. Grabbed by Boswell. Cats on the run. Boswell quickly down. Stops. Over to Love. He'll fire the three. It's up and in.
Umar Ballo, the senior out of Mali, is your Pac-12 men's basketball player of the week. A pair of double-doubles. He averaged 15 points and 17 rebounds in the Arizona split against Alabama, and Florida Atlantic opened with 16 points and 12 rebounds in the win over Alabama, then 12 points and 21 rebounds as well as a career-high 3 steals to go along with 2 assists in the double overtime loss to Florida Atlantic. Those 21 rebounds for Oumar Ballo, the most since the most by a player since 2008. And the first time I believe a player had more than 18 in a game since DeAndre Ayton. He had 65% conversion from the line. This was a guy that came in shooting 34% from the line. He made 11 of 17 from the charity stripe in those 2 games. 65%, that's 20% above his average entering the week. It's the second time Oumar Ballo has won the Player of the Week. He did so last November. Let's hope that continues. Oumar Ballo is your Pac-12 men's basketball Player of the Week as we get set to begin the final Pac-12 men's basketball season for your Arizona Wildcats, and they will do so coming up Friday night at Haas Pavilion in Berkeley, California, against the California Golden Bears.
Didn't Coach Lloyd just mention last week in a press conference that he, all he needs to do is see some more Maui?
Maui-O.
Yeah, that was the terminology.
Maui-O is the term he used. Let's hope that continues.
Well, that was the last time he won. So, he won that. That would have been that week that he
Oh,
won
yeah.
it. And
That's
the
true.
Maui Invitational is when he won it. So, here we go.
Maui-O.
There's the 2 weeks.
All right, 520 again, 848-1290 is the number. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. We've got tickets coming up. Cricket's got tickets coming up for you in the 5 o'clock hour. Listen for the cue to call there as well. We're going to hear from some of your Arizona Wildcats football players down in Texas. We'll talk to Traden Stukes straight ahead. You heard from Jed Fish. We were talking NBA in the first hour. We'll also get into Steve Kerr. Man, Steve Kerr had some things to say about the way the professional basketball game right now is being officiated.
I'm on the same page. I've been talking about this for a year. I think everybody who likes the integrity of the game has been talking about. It's the same thing with wide receivers and what's a hold and that kind of thing. It's just that whole typical. Where do the refs give their preferential treatment to? Is the offensive side of the ball or the defensive side of the ball? You know what I mean? And so we're at a stage right now where offense is what creates highlights in both the NFL and the NBA. Back to the whole home run derby of 30 years ago. It's that excitement of big moments. And unfortunately for a lot of, traditional fans, you're just seeing this outrageous of effective giving the benefit of the doubt to the offensive player. And we'll talk about it more, but it's definitely not good if every foul is called for the superstars of the league anytime they're close to the basket.
Yeah. And again, I think it's happening in a lot of sports. There was a lot of complaining about NFL officiating over the weekend, especially in the game that I watched, the Browns and then the Texans. It seemed like everybody in Cleveland was saying, Jesus, are the refs being paid for every flag they throw in this game? But again, we've talked about that all year. The complaining about officiating is at an all-time high on a number of levels in every sport.
In general, I think is at an all-time high. Yeah.
There you go. All right, this young lady doesn't complain. She just gives you your traffic and gets you home. Do so, Miss Cricket.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. With collisions reported, Irvington near I-19 on Irvington to the west of I-19. Also crash that occurred Silver Lake at I-10 on Silver Lake at I-10. And weather-wise, clear skies, 37 the low, mostly sunny, 63 tomorrow and 60 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
This report is sponsored by Boost Infinite.
Boost Infinite's new wireless technology gives you 3 networks for the price of 1 and better service at a lower price. Switch today. Visit boostinfinite.com. That's boostinfinite.com.
Boost. The very best in play-by-play is on Tucson's best sports station, Wildcats Radio 1290. This is the home of the Wildcats and NFL play-by-play. This is the one and only Wildcats Radio 1290.
Jingle all the way to Desert Diamond Casino. There are next-level thrills, a whole lot of winning, and so much more in store this month.
Let's hear it.
First up, it's $1 Million Pro Football Frenzy and $10K Saturday. Then there's Holiday Gift Grab and the Road to Riches finale.
Wow!
And be sure to check out fantastic live entertainment at the Diamond Center with Gary Allen, clairvoyance, and more.
Rock on!
Then on New Year's Eve, it's New Year's Eve Hot Seats Frenzy at Sahuarita and Tucson. And you can win your share of $25,000 at Tucson with New Year's Eve Cash Train.
That's true, Tucson.
All this plus your favorite slots and table games, Arizona's finest sportsbook, and delicious food and drink specials.
It's all here at Desert Diamond Casinos.
True.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
See Reward Center for details.
Hi, it's Floyd, the family man with the family plan. Outdated HVAC systems will drive up your electric bill, drain your wallet, and peace of mind. Save now at Goodfellas with no payments or interest till 2024. Get a 30% federal tax credit, up to $2,000 off qualifying heat pumps. Trust Goodfellas. We're locally owned with thousands of 5-star reviews. Good service, good prices, Goodfellas. Visit us at goodfellasac.com to schedule a no-cost estimate.
The holiday season is about family and friends, co-workers, parties, and gifts that we send. So saving big money is important to all. Up to 40% if you make the right call. At Tobacco Barn. This holiday season, remember, you can save up to 40% on all your favorite tobacco products at Tobacco Barn. Plus, up to $20 in city and state sales tax because they're on the reservation. And save up to $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Hey, even Santa likes saving big money at Tobacco Barn.
Ho, ho, ho. Miss Claus loves it here.
So save up to 40% on your favorite tobacco products. Save up to $20 in state sales tax. Pay no city sales tax. And save up to $3 with a coupon at TobaccoBarnTucson.com. Saving this much money, even Santa's elves have been spotted shopping at Tobacco Barn.
What is going on in here?
Happy holidays from Tobacco Barn, Nogales Highway, just south of Valencia.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
For all the latest news from Arizona Stadium, McHale Center, and High Corbin Field, make sure to like us on Facebook at Wildcats 1290. This is the exclusive home of Arizona Athletics. Wildcats Radio 1290. Tune in this Thursday at 3 p.m. for the pregame show as the number 14 Arizona Wildcats take on the number 12 ranked Oklahoma Sooners in the 2023 Alamo Bowl. Only on Wildcats Radio 1290.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Christmas chimes are calling Santa, Santa. Every heart recalling Santa, Santa. Come on, oh Kris Kringle, down the Milky Way. Christmas chimes are calling Santa. We need you today. If you don't believe in Santa, Santa, think that he's deceiving. Santa, Santa.
Think about a Christmas with no Christmas cheer. Christmas
from a Christmas show. That one right there, Christmas Chimes Are Calling Santa, from the 1974 version of 'Twas the Night Before Christmas. Do you remember that one, J-Dub?
I definitely do. Yeah.
That was the one where the mice, based around the mice living in the house, and the son with the really smart son mouse messes with the clock on the town square, because of course there's always a town square, and messes up the clock that was supposed to invite Santa into town. He sends Santa this letter, and he tells Santa he doesn't believe in Christmas and all this stuff, and he believes and that he ended up ruining it for everybody. So he tries to go fix the clock and gets it to go at the time it was supposed to go right there at midnight.
Yeah, that was just before I was born, but back in those days, there's only 3 channels, so we saw a lot of that kind of stuff from the 60s and 70s.
But nowadays, JW, you don't need any channels to watch. How many Christmas shows did you watch?
Oh, man, I mean, Paige, we have a tradition, which is just festive, movies around every holiday. So basically when, we have Halloween, it's go watch your favorite Halloween movies, and when Christmas comes around, you watch your favorite Christmas movies, and she has a long list, and so we knocked them all out pretty much over the. Now this is not sitting with bated breath and watching the television
I was about to say,
with your
Jesus,
full attention.
That's
on
20 hours of sitting.
No, that's not how this works. It's more like it's on in the room, and if you want to pay attention, and we have a TV and then the computer, and we're there. I had at one point I had the NBA game on along with the Christmas movies going on. So it's kind of more of a dual viewing situation. But yeah, well, she has all these movies, and the big crux is the best of the best can't be watched before the very end. So it's really only like 1 or 2 movies on Christmas Day, and the other ones lead up into Christmas.
Okay.
So I won't.
Now these are strictly movies, not shows.
We watched, like, for instance, some of the Simpsons Christmas shows.
Okay.
There's sprinkled in some TV shows here and there, but yes, traditionally movies, and these aren't necessarily movies from the 60s, 70s, and 80s, more so than she was born in the 80s, so it's more like the 90s and 2000s is her favorites. But a couple of these, honestly, DK, I hadn't even watched. First, we watched 4 Christmases. Have you ever seen that?
4 Christmases?
Yeah.
No, I've not seen that
this
one.
is a movie with Vince Vaughn, Reese Witherspoon, Robert Duvall, John Voight, Mary Steenburgen, Dwight Yoakam's in it. It's actually very charming. It's about 2 people who always skip out on Christmas, and they go to some luxurious vacation in the islands. So they go to Mali and all these places. They go to the Caribbean, basically, around Christmas. And one year they get snowed in, and they're on live television, and their all 4 of their families, because both their families are separated. So all 4 of the families of these 2 people find out that they're really not going anywhere, so they're forced to go and visit all these families that they haven't seen in a while. And it's just, again, a bunch of train wreck comedy with, very dysfunctional people, and it's just a really charming story.
That's not the one. Okay, no. So Kristen Chenoweth was in that one. I saw another one that she was in over the weekend.
Older sister. There's a lot of repeated people. I think Mary Steenburgen is in almost all of these movies. We also watched Santa Claus with Tim Allen. Seen that one?
I've seen Santa Claus, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nightmare Before Christmas. That's a classic.
I don't think is that Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yes.
Is that Freddy?
No. It's a Tim Burton movie. Okay. It's a stop motion animation. It's
okay.
It's a whole nother thing. We'll have to do a whole segment on that. We also watched Christmas with the Cranks.
No,
not familiar.
No.
That's Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis. That's another situation where they want to skip Christmas. They live in Winter Haven. These people, basically, they live in a neighborhood that everybody decorates to the nth degree. Dan Aykroyd is one of the people who lives in their neighborhood. And one year they decide their daughter's going off to college. And so they decide, this year, we're going to go on a Caribbean vacation. We're going to skip Christmas. And then the neighborhood, DK, finds out about it. And the whole movie is them being basically shunned by the whole neighborhood by skipping Christmas and not putting up their Rudolph and all that kind of stuff. We also watched the animated Grinch, Home Alone 1 and 2, Christmas movies. Love Actually is a British movie. Takes place around Christmas time, if you're not familiar. Good movie. How the Grinch Stole Christmas, obviously, the Jim Carrey version. Then those are preludes. So that was like the last week or whatever, just off and on. But yesterday we watched Miracle on 34th Street with Richard Attenborough, the more modern version.
Okay, not the classic one.
Not the classic one. We watched the 1994 version.
All right.
We watched Elf which is Paige's personal favorite. Here's a little tidbit of the Elf, the magic of the movie Elf.
Okay.
Bye, guys.
Bye, buddy.
Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Thanks, Mr. Narwhal. Bye.
So, if you're not familiar, DK, Elf is like the most charming movie because it's about a super innocent character who goes into the big city of New York, doesn't understand what's going on. Jimmy Kahn's his dad. It's just like everybody he meets is all about business. He just wants to decorate and eat cookies, and it's just a really charming movie. Basically, along the same lines of all these other movies we talked about, just about the true meaning of Christmas. I cannot recommend. I mean, again, it's probably not my favorite movie of all time, but I've seen it hundreds of times. And if you haven't seen it, DK, I highly recommend. Let's see, what else? We watched Christmas Vacation, of course, and Christmas Story yesterday evening. Got them in at the very
Christmas
end.
Story, is that because that was last? That's the
Christmas
the top
Story is
one?
the one from my childhood more than I think that came out in the mid '80s.
Yeah.
That movie is so weird if you watch it, because if you really break it down, there's so much like a weird psychosis kind of thing going on with the main character, because he keeps imagining things in his head, like scenarios in his head, like he's going to shoot his eye out with the gun and all that. That's the main storyline throughout it. But most of the movie's obviously told from his perspective. So there's some very weird fever dream kind of moments in that movie. And Christmas Vacation, I don't know. That whole idea of a family that the whole goal is to have everybody come together and make it the perfect possible Christmas. It's like, a sporting team, DK. It's like you want the Arizona basketball team to win every game. You want them to make all their shots. You want every pass to go the right way. You have all these anticipations of perfection, but in reality, if you're getting 7 different families together under one roof for the holidays, it's rarely ever going to be that, and most likely the opposite of that.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I just love the idea that, things can go bad. You're going to have mistakes happen. People are going to, piss each other off. And yet, at the end of the day, you come together and you realize that, the time spent together is what's really important and all that stuff. And so, yeah, I mean, we definitely, now, almost all these movies I've seen multiple times throughout my life. So it's not like I was sitting there watching for the first time. But I just like the message involved with a lot of Christmas movies. It's good stuff.
So you didn't see Deck the Halls then?
No, we didn't watch.
That was the other one with Kristen Chenoweth that somehow ended up on my TV, and it had Matthew Broderick, because I saw Matthew Broderick. I never knew Matthew Broderick did a Christmas movie, and Danny DeVito was in it.
We
and I
did
guess he was supposed to be like
watch that as well at some point this month.
Oh, you did?
For
Okay.
sure. Yeah, it's been on the TV at some point this month.
So I guess Danny DeVito was supposed to have this lights at his house that were supposed to be seen from space or something. I don't know.
Yeah. The other one is the Arnold Schwarzenegger one. That one kind of pisses me off. So I have a hard time watching that movie.
So I heard that that's not actually a Christmas movie. It's just a movie that is based around Christmas time. That's apparently what. Who was it? Were you? Somebody told me that they. Were you the one that said you? Somebody told me they had spoken with or knew people that knew.
It's called Jingle All the Way.
Oh, you're talking about? I'm talking about Die Hard.
Oh no, not Die Hard. Die Hard is a movie that takes place around Christmas,
right? But it's not a Christmas movie.
Well, it's not, but it is. It's got the same messaging. It's weird. Like if you really break it down, like Die Hard's a similar in that at the end it's about the family coming together and not being about. But Jingle All the Way is an Arnold Schwarzenegger Christmas movie that I have a hard time watching for one simple reason. The premise of this movie, DK, is that a father who's very busy with his job forgets about his son, can't get over to a recital, and decides he's going to make up for it and become Father of the Year by getting the most important toy of the Christmas season that every kid wants. So he thinks he's going to get back into the good graces of his kid by just finding that one toy. The entire movie, DK, is about this dad trying to get that one toy and going through some really horrible means to do so. At one point, he fights, I think, 100 mall Santas all at the same time, like fist fights, because again, he believes in his mind that if he gets this one toy, all will be made well and that his kid will love him. And that's basically the premise of that movie. which is, yeah. I mean,
Interesting.
some people listening may think Jingle All the Way is the best Christmas movie. I personally,
I don't think I've ever heard of it.
I've watched it 2 or 3 times. And
Jingle All the Way.
Yeah, it's not on the list this year.
So what did you watch this Christmas? 520-848-1290. This is the only day we're having this conversation, folks. So if you want to get in on it, Christmas is over. It's over after today. So don't think you can keep your trees up till New Year's Day like I do.
Well, you keep your tree up year round.
That's true. It is. It is up year round.
But
we got some new ornaments. I think we got a Cleveland baseball ornament that we put up. Yeah, we got some nice new ornaments to add to our tree.
Always fun
this year. Yeah, we got a Cavaliers tree skirt to put up now. So what we're gonna do is once Christmas is over, since it's basketball season, we're gonna put up our Cavaliers tree skirt around the tree for
that can
for
go
the
year
rest of the
round,
day.
right?
Well, no, we'll probably get rid of it come baseball season. We actually haven't. I think we have. I don't know if we have. We couldn't remember because we haven't had it up for a while. Whether it was a Guardians or an Indians tree skirt, we have one of those too. So we'll put that one up probably come April or May. And I have a dilemma. I've got a dilemma. Oh, I got to tell you about my dilemma coming up next. 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. I have got a dilemma. It's DK on the Sports Tip. I'm David Kelly. Cricket is getting you home every 20 minutes with your traffic and your weather.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic. Collisions reported Irvington at I-19 on Irvington, just west of I-19. Also a crash Silver Lake at I-10 reported on Silver Lake at I-10. And our weather-wise overnight tonight, clear skies, 37 as our low, mostly sunny, and 63 tomorrow and 59 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Discover. Did you know Discover wants everyone to feel special? That's why with your Discover card, you have access to 24/7 customer service, as well as $0 fraud liability, which means you're never held responsible for unauthorized purchases. Learn more at discover.com/credit card. Limitations apply.
Our Red Tax savings will continue. $500 Red Tax savings with an additional $1,000 O'Reilly cash on any new and used models. Hurry, the sale will be gone faster than Santa's sleigh off a rooftop.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
They say time flies like a sparrow.
And fruit flies like a banana. We're off to a great start.
If you two don't mind, I'd like to tell our customers about something they won't do in 2024.
I'm not doing a lot of things, like changing your socks.
Guys, I'm talking about no payments or interest for a full year on a new system.
Oh, people are going to like that. You should tell them.
As I was saying, Alaskan AC can install a brand new heating and air system and have no payments or interest for a year.
365 days.
12 months. You'll get all the comfort, and you won't write a check for a whole year.
Ha! Ron still writes checks. He's so old, the first picture of him was an oil painting.
You guys having fun?
I never have fun. I'm having a little fun.
This is big. With approved credit, get a spanking new furnace and AC system. No payments or interest for a year.
Spanking new? Ron talks old-timey.
Schedule your appointment today, whenever you want, online at alaskanac.com.
Wildcats Radio 1290 has been through all the ups.
Throwing deep downfield, and that ball is caught. That's a one-handed catch by T-Mac. How does he do this? What a catch!
And the downs.
Picked off. I don't believe it. The third interception.
1290 is always there by your side to bring you all the raw emotion of the moments that matter to Wildcats fans. We are Wildcats Radio 1290.
Jingle all the way to Desert Diamond Casino. There are next level thrills, a whole lot of winning, and so much more in store this month.
Let's hear it.
First up, it's $1 Million Pro Football Frenzy and 10K Saturday. Then there's Holiday Gift Grab and the Road to Riches finale.
Wow!
And be sure to check out fantastic live entertainment at the Diamond Center with Gary Allen, Clairvoyance, and more.
Rock on!
Then on New Year's Eve, it's New Year's Eve Hot Seats Frenzy at Saurita and Tucson. And you can win your share of 25 grand at Tucson with New Year's Eve Cash Train.
That's true, Tucson.
All this plus your favorite slots and table games, Arizona's finest sportsbook, and delicious food and drink specials.
It's all here at Desert Diamond Casinos.
True.
An enterprise of the Thana Autumn Nation.
See Rewards Center for details.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids chewables provide fast relief for common stomach issues, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
He's kind and he's funny and he's also mustachioed. He solves all your problems by the end of every episode. TV Dad. Everyone loves TV Dad. TV Dad. Unlike your real dad, he never hollers. And he tells you how Progressive can save you lots of dollars.
Listen to your TV Dad. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary.
Today on Hey Culligan's Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener. Here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yup, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
DK on the Sports Tip on Wildcats Radio 1290.
520-848-1290. 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. Glenn Howell is going to join us in the next hour. Wildcat Breakdown. We'll start to get you set for this bowl game. You also hear from Traden Stukes coming up here as well before we get out of here at 6 o'clock. J-Dub, I have got a dilemma.
Tell me.
A dilemma. So I've always been in love with astronomy, like from the time that I was a kid. And I'm particularly in love with the phenomenon of eclipses.
Sure.
And there's a big eclipse coming up in 2024. In fact, it is on April the 8th, 2024. Do you know what is also scheduled for that same day?
I would assume the final game of the college basketball season?
The final game of the college basketball season is on Monday, April 8th, 2024. I have been planning for 7 years. This eclipse is going to go directly through Cleveland, Ohio. Directly. Totality for almost 4 minutes in Cleveland, Ohio.
So you got your spot picked out, like some kind of landmark building
it gets
somewhere
better.
downtown?
It gets better.
All right.
The Tribe's home opener.
Oh, no.
Is on April the 8th, 2024.
Uh-oh.
At, I believe, I don't know if they've set the date on it yet, but if it's a day game, literally you're going to have this it's just indescribable. You will have a Major League Baseball game being played in the daytime during a total eclipse where it will go from day to night during the game. How about that right there? You obviously know what the dilemma is here.
Well,
Arizona has a basketball team that could potentially be playing basketball on April the 8th, 2024. I have been planning this trip for 7 years. 7 years since the last eclipse that went through the United States, which was, if you had an opportunity, it was not, I think if you grew up, I think it actually went through parts of northern Arizona and Utah the last time in 2017. And it was funny, we were talking about it over the weekend, and we were like, we were reminiscing. Remember when we said that 7 years ago, man, the next one's going to be in Cleveland? That seems so long. so long into the future.
The last 7 years have passed by faster than any other 7
Exactly.
years in human
Well, yeah, we had a
history.
pandemic. I
Yeah.
think that made it go a lot faster.
Yes, a lot faster.
But it's here. Now we're 3 months away from this trip we've been planning for 7 years. And if the Arizona Wildcats go to the national championship game, I am not going to get to see my eclipse in person.
Well, we could rig some kind of deal where you could, do the pregame from your seat out there while watching the Tribe.
But how about this? How about we throw another curveball into this? Guess what else is happening in Cleveland that weekend?
Is it a yacht rock concert?
No. The NCAA women's Final Four.
Wow. In Cleveland.
Is happening in Cleveland.
That's weird.
That weekend.
So the men's is in Phoenix and the women's is in Cleveland.
The women, exactly. So the women's national championship game obviously is on Sunday, the 7th. The men's national championship game is on Monday, the 8th. So I'm thinking, well, can Adia Barnes and company save me? If the men get to the Final Four, I've got to be here. I can't go to Cleveland, even if the women are there participating in the women's Final Four.
Where does your love of astronomy come from?
I don't know. I grew up in L.A.,
So you couldn't see any astronomy when you're growing up.
Well, actually, you could. I mean, people think, there's a lot of smog in Los Angeles, but there was still
more like light
you
pollution.
could still see a lot of stars when I was growing up.
Yeah, no, I meant more
there.
like light pollution because there's so many people out there.
So that's my dilemma. The Final Four, the national championship game, is the same day as the Tribe's home opener and the they're calling it the Great American Eclipse, which will go directly through my hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, and I've been planning to be there for 7 years.
Well, some out there in the fandom would believe that if you book a ticket for Phoenix, it's not going to happen. But if you book a ticket for Cleveland, then it would happen. Right? Isn't that how that works?
Exactly. My buddy used to have this saying back in the day that first prize was or second prize was 1 week in Cleveland, or first prize, what was it? First prize was 2 weeks in Cleveland. Second prize was 1 week in Cleveland. First prize was 2 weeks in Cleveland.
Right.
Something like that. I forget exactly how that worked, but
I mean, I don't know. It's hard to pass up you said it's a full eclipse?
Total solar eclipse.
And
total solar eclipse.
Yeah. I mean,
in my hometown, which, well, again, you'll get to see maybe inside the United States. I can only remember maybe this, there being solar eclipses in the United States maybe 5-6 times in my entire life. And to get one that's going to go through your hometown, I can remember there was one in 77, maybe 77, 78, that went through. I was living in Denver at the time, and I think we were 85% totality. And then obviously there was the one in 2017. I think we were 81% totality here. But I've never lived or been connected to a town that was going to be 100% totality.
Yeah, solar's weird. It's a weird experience.
But I mean, it's
darkness.
It's something that people have always said. If you have I remember in 2017, we had a friend who drove up to Utah, somewhere in Utah, to watch it. And if you went up there, and if you were from here and you went up there to Utah or Northern Arizona in 2017, I'd love to hear from you about that. 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is the number to get in on the program. But I've always been told that if you have an opportunity to see a solar eclipse somewhere in totality in your lifetime, you should not pass up that opportunity.
Yeah, it's like every 9 years, right?
Something like that.
I mean, generally.
Unless, of course, the team you cover is playing in the national championship game that day.
Let's see. It says here, there have been 15 total eclipse events to affect at least a portion of the continental United States in the last 150 years.
Right.
So not very regular.
Not very many. 520-848-1290. Let's talk to Bo. You are on Wildcats Radio 1290 DK on the Sports Tip.
Hey, how's it going, man?
What's happening, Bo?
Well, I just want to tell you, I am a big Cats fan.
Oh,
and it'd be great to see them in the national championship, but I got to see the complete totality in Casper, Wyoming the last time.
2017.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, it was amazing. Don't miss out on it. If you got a chance to do it, because it's something you'll never forget for the rest of your life.
The problem.
I mean, the Cats winning the championship would be a plus, but you know what I'm saying. The total eclipse, 100% complete totality, is the coolest thing you'll ever experience.
You think I could get a Learjet and I could fly back because the eclipse will be around 1 o'clock Eastern time, and that'd be 10 o'clock here, and then I could watch it, get on the Learjet, fly back from the national championship game. You think I could do that?
You'll be pushing it, buddy.
There is good news, DK.
You'll
In
be pushing it.
2207 on November 20th, there will be a total solar eclipse in Phoenix.
2207.
Yeah, you just have to wait till 2207.
Oh man, so you're saying I got to live a long time.
But that's the next time.
Do
Phoenix.
it now while you can, my friend. Do it now while you can.
Hey, Bo, do you have pictures? Did you get any pictures? Did you take photographs up there?
I did. I got some pictures. You know, I'll be honest. The craziest thing is the animals, man. It's total silence. You hear nothing. You hear nothing because everything thinks that you need to go to sleep. Man, it was cool. It was really cool. So if you go to a place that has 100%, man, do it. It's worth it.
Bo, I appreciate you checking in on that. Thank you.
Right on, man. Thank you.
The problem with this whole thing is you never know what kind of weather you're going to get in Cleveland the first week in April.
Yeah.
It could be like snow, cloudy.
If it's dark
it's still
and
gonna,
overcast.
It's still going to get dark, but you just won't see the sun.
But if
part
it's
of it.
already dark and overcast before, then what's the point, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I could feel that.
That could be weird. That could just be weird if you don't actually have a clear sky to see it. But I guess that's the chance you take in the Midwest in April, dealing with that. 520-848-1290. If you've ever seen, we had the annular eclipse. It was back during the football season. It was on I forget who we were playing that day. It was a road game. Might have been the day we played Stanford, I think, because Jackie, promo Jackie had the glasses, and she let me wear the glasses because we were 80% totality here that day, and she let me wear the glasses, and I had a chance to go out in the back and kind of see it through. I'd never seen it like that. That was unbelievable. Like, I would have to get the glasses because to see it that way, to be able to look directly at the sun through those eclipse glasses, you can just, I can't imagine what 80% was phenomenal for what I saw for just like the minute I had them on that day. 100% would just be crazy.
We did the pinhole thing as kids.
That's what I did. I was actually out in the back doing the pinhole thing, and Jackie saw me out there, and she's like, "Oh, I have glasses if you want to."
What are you doing? It's 2023.
Exactly. It's like, what do you do? It's 2023. You don't have to put a pen through a piece of paper and hold it up against the ground or something.
We got technology for that.
Exactly. I'm still living in the 1970s,
right?
When we did the pinhole kind of thing.
Well, I'm on the page of if I have something that is only good for one purpose, then why do I have it?
Right.
So I think eclipse glasses fall in that category. If I can't use them, DK, for multiple things, it's like that whole. I'm at a place in my life where I'm old enough that I need to start getting rid of things because there's only so much space in my closet in my house. So yeah, I think eclipse glasses are awesome, and I would borrow them from somebody who had them. I think more than go out and buy one for every 9 years when I could use them.
The other thing is we've got tickets. My wife has gotten us tickets to the home opener.
Well, you've been talking about it so long. It's your favorite thing. Of course
it's like we've got tickets to the home opener on Eclipse Day in Cleveland. We talked about it over the weekend. She's like, well, I'm going. And, if you're there, you're there. If you're not, you're not.
We're going to make it work. I guarantee you. David
I said,
Kelly,
well,
we're
you
gonna
know,
make
they
it
could
work.
get to the Final Four, and maybe they don't get past the semifinal, and then I'll hop on a plane
We'll make it work.
Sunday, and I'm there.
We're going to make it work.
We'll see what happens. But obviously, we want the Wildcats to go as far as they can, and if they end up in the national championship game on April the 8th, it will be the happiest day of the year for everyone involved in that.
Yes.
All right. Next hour, we're going to talk some Arizona Wildcats football. Glenn Howe will join us, Wildcat Breakdown. Also, we'll dive into, I want you to hear Steve Kerr's comments. We also have Cricket back. Cricket has got tickets. Listen for the cue to call coming up on that. Isn't it an exciting week? We've got Arizona football on Thursday, Arizona men's basketball on Friday and Sunday, Arizona women's basketball on Sunday. A lot coming up in these final few days of 2023.
Does she have Eclipse tickets?
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think there's some places. Well, again, I think if the game is going to be during the day, which I'm anticipating it is, I haven't seen a start time. I don't know if they put a start time on it. Then we would just watch it from there.
Well, I just assume that Cricket's got tickets for concerts,
you
for
mean the
sporting
Cricket,
events.
Cricket
That she
have
might as well. Yeah,
I thought you
bust
meant
out
just my
some
wife have Eclipse tickets.
No, Cricket.
Because there are different places, I think, that are hosting like Eclipse parties and that kind of thing around Cleveland that day. So
yeah, I think you could just look up. I don't think you have to buy a ticket.
Right, but yeah, but I guess it's more fun if there's adult beverages involved.
It's always more fun if you're
right?
around other human beings
Yeah.
and enjoying yourself.
And it's a party because that's what it is going to be, a party.
Parties are fun.
On April the 8th, either in Phoenix or in Cleveland. The question just will be
probably both.
Where will DK be on that day?
Both.
Maybe. If somebody's got a jet and they want to fly me across the country so I can do both events, I'm all here for it. It's DK on the Sports Tip. Cricket, get us home with the traffic.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together. New collision reported Golf Links and Harrison and Golf Links, and a crash that's clearing Irvington near I-19 on Irvington west of I-19. Clear skies, 37 our overnight low, mostly sunny and 63 tomorrow, and 59 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather together.
This report is sponsored by ChumbaCasino.com. With over 100 online casino-style games, Chumba Casino is your go-to destination for nonstop entertainment. Play for fun and play for free at ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void or prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hey, Tucson, on your way to McHale, tune in to the biggest pregame show in the Pac-12, and after the game, listen for the highlights only on the home of Wildcats men's basketball. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
This is Jim Rome with your Rome Report. I will own this. It was not that long ago that I called for a ban on the Giants in prime time. I wanted them banned from prime time. We all wanted them banned from prime time. And not just for this season, but for perpetuity, for life. So I can't believe what I am about to say, but I am so glad that that ban never happened. Because had it happened, we would have never gotten the Tommy DeVito experience. And the Tommy DeVito experience is absolutely amazing. The Tommy DeVito experience is the exact opposite of the Danny turnovers experience in almost every single way. Starting with the fact that DeVito does not turn it over constantly, that helps. Followed by the fact that DeVito actually wins. That helps even more.
Does your vehicle have over 75,000 miles? Get maximum high mileage engine protection with Syntec Full Synthetic High Mileage Motor Oil exclusively at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Right now, get 5 quarts of Syntec High Mileage and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $34.99. Limit supply. Ask for Syntec High Mileage at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life. Especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded.
They say time flies like a sparrow.
And fruit flies like a banana.
We're off to a great start.
If you two don't mind, I'd like to tell our customers about something they won't do in 2024.
I'm not doing a lot of things.
Like changing your socks.
Guys, I'm talking about no payments or interest for a full year on a new system.
Oh, people are going to like that.
You should tell them.
As I was saying, Alaskan AC can install a brand new heating and air system and have no payments or interest for a year.
365 days.
12 months.
You'll get all the comfort, and you won't write a check for a whole year.
Ha! Ron still writes checks.
He's so old, the first picture of him was an oil painting.
You guys having fun?
I never have fun.
I'm having a little fun.
This is big. With approved credit, get a spanking new furnace and AC system. No payments or interest for a year.
Spanking new?
Ron talks old-timey.
Schedule your appointment today, whenever you want, online at alaskanac.com.
We get you so close to McHale, it sounds like the Arizona Pep Band is riding in your back seat.
What the hell is going on?
This is the home of Arizona men's basketball. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
We return now to the holiday shopping adventures of Eugene Snarkle and his best friend Doug.
Eugene, it looks like we waited a bit too long to get our shopping done. These shelves are pretty empty.
Yeah, Doug, looks like everything got sucked up into that great big cyber savings vortex. But I've got another great idea.
We interrupt Eugene's great ideas for this commercial message.
Trying to get on the road but need some maintenance or repairs to get your car, truck, SUV, or sleigh road trip ready?
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care has some fantastic year-end savings, like $50 back on any $250 purchase. When you pay with your Jack Furrier card, you save big.
Whether it's tires, maintenance, or auto repair, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care has you covered. We can get your vehicle road trip ready and save you some big bucks.
So, Eugene, what was that great idea of yours anyway?
I was thinking about getting everybody a giant-sized bag of Cheezos.
Thanks, Eugene. And for everyone else, there's Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960 here to get you there.
I thought learning a language would be too much work, but Babbel makes learning fun. J'aime Babel.
Babbel's lessons only take 10 or 15 minutes. And soon, you turn and realize, hey, I'm starting to speak another language. How'd that happen?
Babbel isn't robots talking. You learn words and phrases from real native speakers. I was ready for real-life conversations in just a few weeks. So easy.
Go to Babbel.com to try for free. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. We are the sports station that Tucson turns to for all the latest news when it comes to Arizona men's basketball, along with all the play-by-play action. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Live from the CNWT.
From the what? Central Northwest Tucson, duh.
It's DK on the Sports Tip with your host, David Kelly.
Radio. Just when I thought I was out, they drug me back in.
Featuring J.W. Madden.
Don't tell me about flip-flops, man. I'm a native.
And Cricket getting you home with traffic and weather.
Camp on Melt Lemon, not in the left lane on the freeway.
Here we go! And now, a man who has not one, but three first names, David Scott Kelly.
Final hour of the program on this. Whoa, there goes my camera again. It just disappears and follows me. If you're watching us on one of our many video streams, sometimes my camera goes a bonkers.
It just wants to see what's happening over there on the other side of the room.
Where's he going? What's happening over there? I'm always pointed in this direction. I want to know what's happening on the other side of the world. That camera says.
Curious camera.
Curious. Is that like Curious George? Curious Camera?
It's like Buddy from Elf.
Oh, Buddy. Yeah. What was the line? Hope you find your way home, buddy.
Yeah. Hope you find your dad, buddy.
Oh, good stuff. Good lines. There's this guy, he posts like stuff on Twitter. It's like, it's like every week it's something new. What's the favorite? Like, I think last week it was like the best walk ever in a movie. Like, and he like shows like what the best person walking in a movie was or something like, and then he asks you to post what the best walk you think in a movie. So that would be like what's the funniest line in a movie? Thanks for buddy.
Yeah, basically
like
the last 15 years or so, it's been a long process of fine-tuning bits and pieces of pop culture and turning that into its own humor. And that's basically what the modern internet is.
Yeah.
That's what memes are, where they came from, really.
Okay. All right. Yesterday, so again, we were talking about the fact that there were 5 NBA games on yesterday. And the Suns lost again. And in fact, let's hear, there was some unpleasantries in that game yesterday between the Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. Let's hear a little bit of that real quick here, if we can.
Williams all the way and a foul. It looked like Williams had double dribbled over there in the corner. And if that's on Booker, that's his 4th. You see Booker just coming right across Grant Williams' head. 1 and 2. Durant. Oh, and now Booker and Grant Williams are tangled up. As security hustles out onto the floor. A lot of the assistant coaches were out. The coaches there as well. And you see on the back screen right here, Grant Williams just running through Devin Booker and continuing as the play was called dead on the foul.
So I played the first part there because it was back-to-back plays. So, like, Devin Booker went to go up to block a shot, caught him a little bit across the top of the head, and then the very next play after the free throws, Grant Williams just kind of basically grabbed onto Devin Booker and wouldn't let go.
Yeah, and a little bit of a dust. That was, again, it was a hard foul by Devin at the one end. I believe his elbow caught him on the head, which is never going to be friendly when you get hit like that.
As I said, it was definitely a play on the ball. This was not any malicious contact or whatsoever. And, honestly, the Grant Williams holding on to Booker wasn't super malicious either. To me, these two teams go back 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, it's been a while that some bad blood has been brewing between the Mavs and the Suns. And because the Mavs culminated that by knocking the Suns out of the playoffs 2 years ago, ever since then, it's really kind of every time they play, it feels like there's some kind of extracurriculars going on.
And Luka Doncic scored 50 points in that game last night to join the 10,000-point club. It doesn't seem like he's been in the league long enough to score 10,000 points, but he's there.
He is the 6th player in NBA history with 10,000 before the age of 25. Wow. 6th player to do that under the age of 25. Devin Booker scored his 10,000th point. You ready? At 25 years and 60 days. So he just barely didn't make it on that list. But certainly two of the best scorers in the modern NBA, those two guys. And that rivalry is going to be going for a while now. Both of those guys like to talk trash. And we're just at a period of the NBA with a lot of shot making. And those are the two of the better shot makers in the league. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely a little bit of a rivalry brewing. The fact that Maverick fans like to rub in the fact that the Suns picked DeAndre Ayton instead of Luka Doncic and so forth and so on and just down the line. So it's definitely brewing a nice little rivalry brewing there between those two teams.
And then there's what happened in the game before that. One of the games before that, I believe it was the second game of the day, the one that I watched the end of, Denver and Golden State. And Nikola Jokic went to the line 18 times in that game. And after the ball game, Arizona Wildcats grad Steve Kerr was asked about that. And here's what Steve Kerr had to say about the parade to the free throw line for Nikola Jokic.
The way he was today. Yeah. I have no problem with the officials themselves. They're all across the league. We have really good officials. I have a problem with the way we are legislating defense out of the game. That's what we're doing in the NBA. The way we're teaching the officials, we're just enabling players to BS their way to the foul line. If I were a fan, I wouldn't have wanted to watch the second half of that game. It was disgusting. It was just baiting refs into the calls, but the refs have to make those calls because that's how they're taught. So I have a real problem with the way we are We've legislated defense out of the game in this league, and the players are really smart in this league. And for over the last decade or so, they've gotten smarter and smarter, and they're just we have enabled the players, and they are taking full advantage, and it's a parade to the free throw line, and it's disgusting to watch. Thanks.
And I'm out.
Mic
so
drop.
Steve was like, he said what he went down there to say. He knew he was going to get asked the question. He said it, and he was out.
Hey, and look, it's not like Steve Kerr himself would be, accused of being one of the better defenders in NBA history, but he did play, DK, on probably the best defensive NBA team I've ever seen. You're right, with those Dynasty Bulls. I mean, Pippen and Jordan, you could not score against those guys. The way I see it is it's really James Harden's style, and they had to change the rules. This was 4 or 5 years ago. They changed the rules because perimeter players realized that they could create contact into the defensive player and get those calls pretty regularly if they did it the right way and did it smart. So they changed the rules so the offensive player can no longer jump and create contact into the defenders on the perimeter. But inside of that three-point line, it's gotten real murky. And again, we as collective sports fans have made fun of soccer players for a long time for the whole acting like you've been shot when really the replay shows you weren't even touched, just to draw an exaggeration so you can maybe get a card on one of those players. That's been a thing for a long time. We've seen more of that exaggerated nature of drawing attention to a foul call from the NBA side of things. It's unfortunate when that's the go-to move for a player. I don't mind it on occasion if a player exaggerates a foul. If the foul was there, you're just trying to show that the ref that there was contact. But the guys who regularly create that being shot, by a sniper when nobody was anywhere near you type of moments, and the refs give the benefit of the doubt to that, even in an era with replay, they're meant to take that out of the game. Now they're changing some rules where there's some anti-flopping stuff, and they're trying to get it out. But what I've watched in the last 5 or 8 years is they're really giving the benefit of the doubt to guys like Giannis, Embiid, Joker. It's so hard to even judge what's a foul against guys, especially Joker and Embiid. They're such big guys. Shaq, same thing. How do you call a foul when Shaq's on the court? The issue is when you give those superstar players every single call, Giannis going to the line 18 times a game, Joker going to the line because of throwing their arms up and exaggerating a call every single time. It just takes, again, the beauty of the game is the up and down and the flow of everything. And if the players are living at the line, DK, you're going to start losing a lot of viewership that isn't there this time of year anyway, if only 7% of people watch the NBA on Christmas Day. So it's not good for the overall health of the game if every single time down the court you're looking at free throws.
All right, what do you think of that? 520-848-1290, 520-848-1290 is, and I love the way Steve Kerr puts everything. He is he's a technician in the way he breaks down situations in his post games when he is in front of the press, no matter what it is he talks about. If he's unhappy with the state of something currently politically in the United States, or whether he's unhappy with the way that referees are legislating defense. I just love the way that he puts everything. And we mentioned our question of the day, whether you watched more NFL or NBA yesterday. Checking in on Facebook. Paul Loby says NFL. Linda Sanders Hansen says NFL. Joe LaFortune says NFL. I asked him, did you have any dogs in the fight yesterday? He said, nope. I was just watching KC Las Vegas while wrapping a few final presents. And again, that's our question of the day. Head on over to Twitter right now and jump in on that if you want to vote at Wildcats 1290, whether you watched NFL, NBA, Christmas shows, or none of the above. What was that for you, Cricket, yesterday? Did you watch NBA, NFL, Christmas shows, or none of the above?
Christmas shows.
What did you watch?
It's a Wonderful Life.
It's a Wonder, the original?
Yes.
Not something from the 90s.
Not the cut. It wasn't colorized or anything.
Not colorized. Yeah. Exactly. That is the great movie. All right. I hear you've got presents.
I do.
Cricket's got presents. Cricket's got tickets.
Got something. So this will be your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets to see the Tucson Roadrunners take on the Coachella Valley Firebirds at the Tucson Arena on Friday. Face off at 7. I'm going to let you skate away with these tickets if you are caller 3 right now to 520-848-1290. 520-848-1290. And if you don't win tickets from us, You can get them at TucsonRoadrunners.com, and I'll have another 4-pack to give away tomorrow.
Okay, now I'm serious about this. Okay, so caller number 3 right now, 520-848-1290. I'm serious about us all going to a game. So we've got to get together and figure out when that's going to be. We're going to go and see a game, okay?
Okay.
You're down with that, Cricket?
I suppose. If we must.
Don't make me feel like we have to handcuff you and take you with us to a hockey game. Come on.
Okay, fine.
Jeez, you want to go? You want to go hang out and
I
see
do.
and do something you've never done? Isn't that good? Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah. Is it like cold there and stuff?
Well, it is in ice.
Yeah.
It is inside. Yeah, I would wear a coat. Some people
parka?
like to wear their winter hats. But again, once you get in, if it's a crowded game and there's enough people there, you might be able to take your jacket off and it gets a little warmer. But if it's one of those nights when there's not a lot of people there, it might stay a little cold.
Might be cold. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll see. But yeah, it'll be fun.
Okay.
We'll find
And we
it.
can all do shots of tequila before we
There
go.
we go.
Oh, boy. You mean business.
We will find a night when we can do that. Is that a plan? Can I count on you guys to do that?
I'm down. Let's go.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Very good. Thank you so much, Cricket. We're gonna let you go, and actually, we probably should have you do traffic first, and then we'll take this call real quick and congratulate our winner. So give us the traffic.
All right. From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together. Reported collisions crash Grant Road near Wilmot. That might be off on private property. An earlier crash clearing Golf Links and Harrison. Clear skies, 37 are low, mostly sunny, 63 tomorrow, and 59 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 Traffic and Weather Together.
All right. That is Cricket with the traffic. We will now talk to Kent. Kent, how are you? Kent, welcome to Wildcats Radio 1290. Kent, can you hear me?
I'm sorry. I had you on the radio. I muted.
Oh, yeah. Don't listen to us. Don't listen to the radio because we're a little bit behind on your radio.
Just a little.
Just a little. So that people don't say bad words and we don't have to hunt them down and do bad things to them. Kent,
right.
Are you a hockey fan?
We are hockey fans.
That's that right? Who do you follow? What's your team?
We are a Roadrunner fan.
A Roadrunner family?
Yes, we are.
Outstanding. So who are you taking to the game with your 4-pack of tickets to see Coachella Valley this Friday night?
I am taking my son and my wife and my daughter.
Oh, awesome. How old's your son?
13.
And how's your daughter?
20.
20. Okay, outstanding. And does he have a favorite team? Does he follow anyone in the NHL that he really likes?
Not really.
No. How about you? Are you an NHL? Do you follow an NHL team at all?
We really don't.
No, just the Roadrunners. You are true Roadrunners fans.
Roadrunners and U of A.
Local sports.
Roadrunners, and so you go see U of A hockey as well.
We do.
Yeah, that is fun. That's a fun thing to do. We got to get some of the Wildcats on when they return after the first of the year. Well, congratulations, Kent. You win a 4-pack of tickets to see the Roadrunners versus Coachella Valley. Hang on the line. J-Dub's going to get your information, and you will be headed there down to the arena on Friday night. Enjoy the game.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. That is Kent, and we will take a timeout. We'll come back and talk some football with Glenn Howe, Wildcats Breakdown. This is DK on the Sports Tip. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer. As the world keeps changing, so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn more about a COVID-19 vaccine option at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Not all sports stations are built the same way. 1290 has Wildcats football, men's basketball, and baseball, plus the NFL and the Super Bowl. Tucson trusts 1290. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
They say time flies like a sparrow.
And fruit flies like a banana.
We're off to a great start.
If you two don't mind, I'd like to tell our customers about something they won't do in 2024.
I'm not doing a lot of things.
Like changing your socks.
Guys, I'm talking about no payments or interest for a full year on a new system.
Oh, people are going to like that.
You should tell them.
As I was saying, Alaskan AC can install a brand new heating and air system and have no payments or interest for a year.
365 days.
12 months.
You'll get all the comfort, and you won't write a check for a whole year.
Ha! Ron still writes checks.
He's so old, the first picture of him was an oil painting.
You guys having fun?
I never have fun.
I'm having a little fun.
This is big. With approved credit, get a spanking new furnace and AC system. No payments or interest for a year.
Spanking new?
Ron talks old-timey.
Schedule your appointment today, whenever you want, online at AlaskanAC.com.
We return now to the holiday shopping adventures of Eugene Snarkle and his best friend Doug.
Eugene, it looks like we waited a bit too long to get our shopping done. These shelves are pretty empty.
Yeah, Doug, looks like everything got sucked up into that great big cyber savings vortex. But I've got another great idea.
We interrupt Eugene's great ideas for this commercial message.
Trying to get on the road but need some maintenance or repairs to get your car, truck, SUV, or sleigh road trip ready?
Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care has some fantastic year-end savings, like $50 back on any $250 purchase. When you pay with your Jack Furrier card, you save big.
Whether it's tires, maintenance, or auto repair, Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care has you covered. We can get your vehicle road trip ready and save you some big bucks.
So, Eugene, what was that great idea of yours anyway?
I was thinking about getting everybody a giant-sized bag of Cheezos.
Thanks, Eugene. And for everyone else, there's Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care since 1960 here to get you there.
Hey, Scott Lehman here from Premier Auto Center. Check out this month's Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar powered by Premier Auto Center.
Visit the Wildcats Radio 1290 Community Calendar at wildcatsradio1290.com to find out what community events are coming up in the Tucson area. You can also find Wildcats Radio 1290 events, upcoming sporting events, and more. Get the details and get involved with our community at wildcatsradio1290.com.
I'm Scott Lehman, and I'm a dealer for the people.
O'Reilly. You've got questions? O'Reilly Auto Parts has answers. Need a pro you can trust? We've got that too. No matter what you need, our professional parts people have the training and expertise to help you do things right. Deep automotive knowledge. Just one part that makes O'Reilly stand apart. The professional parts people.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope, and they're fun. So you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Listen to the home of the Wildcats wherever you are on your iPhone and iPad by downloading our new app in the App Store so you can tune in wherever you are 24 hours a day. The home of the Wildcats is everywhere. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids chewables provide fast relief for common stomach issues, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Sports fans in Tucson can't survive without 1290. In the fall, we bring you Arizona football, the NFL, and the Super Bowl. Then 1290 brings you Arizona men's basketball. And in the spring, Arizona baseball. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Today on Hey Culligan Smart Home, Smarter Water Softener. Here's Kevin.
Hey Culligan, can a smart water softener lift those heavy salt bags for me?
Kevin, it can.
Wait, it can?
Yep, the smart high-efficiency water softener from Culligan can alert your dealer when the salt needs to be replaced, and they'll do it for you, so your water stays soft and you stay away from lifting the bags.
I mean, I could lift them if I wanted.
No judgment here, Kevin. We're happy to do it, and we're already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
DK on the sports tip on Wildcats Radio 1290. It's the 5 o'clock hour, and it's time for our Arizona Insiders.
Am I late? No, my boy, you're just in time.
Each weekday, Wildcats Radio 1290 brings you all the latest news and opinions on U of A football and the Pac-12. So bear down, Tucson, and let's talk Arizona football. Our Arizona Insiders are brought to you by Coors Light, official corporate sponsors of Arizona Athletics. There's nothing like game day in Arizona.
Breaking down Arizona Wildcats football, pleased to be joined by my guy, Glenn Howe, U of A football class of 1985. And Glenn, that time has come. We are finally able, for the first time in 6 years again, to talk about a bowl game involving the Arizona Wildcats. And it was interesting, Glenn, that Jedd Fisch kind of broke it down, really what this program has missed out on in terms of, you look at the fact that if you're talking about another program that's been to a bowl game for 6 straight years, say like a Utah, and you've had those 14 practices annually, extra practices for the last 6 years, that's 84 additional more practices that a program like Utah has had over Arizona because they haven't gone to a bowl game, and that is an intense separator between a lot of programs when you can have those December practices to get your kids better every year.
Well, who would know that stat more than a guy that is just, turned the program around? And I have to say, he's a guy that looks at the numbers, looks at every little corner, every little thing that can make your program better. And I have to give Jedd Fisch credit. I'm giving him credit right now that he's looked at all those little things that have made our team better. And, of course, he would know that stat, and he understands that getting to a bowl game is making your team better. And if you take a perfect example of Utah has gotten better every single year, every time they went to a bowl game, if not to the Rose Bowl or some big bowl game, where they were just getting their players more time to practice and getting better. And I think we're on that path right now as you look at the guys that we got coming back and the guys that are going to be coming in. I think we're going to be on that path in the near future.
When you look at, obviously, there's been some news over the last 24 hours. Jayden de Laura has announced that he will transfer out. He'll stay with the team through the bowl game and then transfer out. The ruling came down a few weeks ago where the judge blocked the transfer rule, and now 2-time transfers are allowed. What are your thoughts on just that part of it? The part of it where now guys and girls can transfer for that second time without penalty if they want, and what potentially, if that were to hold up, how that changes the landscape of college athletics.
That changes it a lot. I mean, now they're just like coaches. They can leave anytime they want, So now the kids have the same rights as the coaches, which I've always been, advocate for. But you know what? It's that you have to really, what you say in the recruiting process has to be really true. You cannot lock a kid in now and just say, I promise you this, and then they'll go, they'll leave. So now you have to be there's really a lot of truth to recruiting now. I really believe that now, because now you have to do it, because otherwise the kids will leave.
All right, and Glenn, obviously now you've had this first December of those practices. You've been in this bowl situation before, but kind of walk people through what's happening as this team has ramped up to these final few days before the bowl game in terms of the practices, what they've been having, what they've been working on, moving up towards game day.
Well, those guys in week 11, week 10 that had a couple nicks, and they played in week 11, they played in week 12, the 12th game, and now they have a whole month, almost like 3 weeks of just getting recovery. Those guys are feeling fantastic. I remember I felt fantastic going into the Sun Bowl against Georgia, because we had all that time off and just to heal our bodies, get some workouts in. get some lifts in, do some stuff, and then getting into practice, and then just getting back in the mode, and then you're just chomping at the bit by the time the week before the game because you're tired of practice and you want to play somebody. So that's what those guys, I think, are really working on right now, and they're feeling great about themselves. I think as far as physically, that's where they're healing up and getting ready to go against the Oklahoma Sooners.
You mentioned the Oklahoma Sooners. Glenn Howell's our guest. He is the Wildcats tight end from 1985. He is our Arizona Insider, brought to you by Coors Light. Coors Light is an official corporate sponsor of Arizona Athletics. Coors Light, there's nothing like game day at Arizona. Glenn, you've obviously lived in this community since you left school in 1985. What do you remember about that time in the late 80s, and in particular that time around 1989 when when Oklahoma came here to Tucson and Arizona put that whooping on them?
Yeah, I mean that was a game that defined what Dick Tomey was. 6-3, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there was not going to be a lot of offense. We didn't start getting a lot of offense until we got a different coordinator, Mouse Davis. Not Mouse Davis. We had another offensive coordinator that was really just had all kinds of ideas. And before that was just like, run left, run right, cloud of dust, and play some great defense and great special teams. I think that was a turning point for our program right there, of saying that, you know what, we're going to be pretty good. You look at that because I think that was Dick's third year. 87 was his first year, and then 88 and 89. And we started to develop some really good guys and some really good players. And I think that that was a big turning point for us.
Glenn, what do you think? We were talking a little bit earlier about Michael Wiley. What do you think his legacy is going to be? I mean, he's not a guy that maybe will end his career at the top of the charts in terms statistically of rushing the football, but it just seems like when you look at what the potential of this program is going to be moving forward, I don't know if obviously it's a football team. There are a lot of guys involved, but I would think I would put him near the top of being among the most important for being guys that led to where this program is now from where they were, 3 years ago when Jedd Fisch first got here.
Yeah, I think Michael Wiley has contributed a lot of leadership. I think he's contributed a lot of toughness, and I think he's just being able to have perseverance, because you'd look at he was on the 1-11 team, and they had that the losses. He kept grinding, and I'm so glad that he got the fruits of his labor of getting all these wins that we had, 9 wins his senior year, and his contribution that he has made, especially in that ASU game, of the things that he has done. He'll go down as one of the best backs as far as the contributors to a team that has made the turn. He was part of a team that is brought from not a winning team to one of our best teams, that we've had at University of Arizona in years.
When you look at obviously the long, this is one of the things we always talk about come bowl time is the break. You had a team that won 6 games in a row coming out of ASU, but now they're going to be off for almost an entire month. What are going to be the most important things early for this team to establish to try to get back into that flow once the whistle goes on Thursday night?
Well, I heard an interview from Jedd on College Sports Radio, and he said that this was the best week they've had of practice all season, which I was really encouraged to hear that. So what I hear from that is that these guys do not forget where they came from, of where they've come and how they've worked hard all season long to get where they are at. And I don't think there's a couple of guys. I don't think Manu. I don't think T-Mac. I don't think the guys on the line, I don't think some of those guys are going to allow anybody to do any slacking. Those are our leaders, I think, that are on our team. I don't think Michael Wiley and those guys are going to allow those things to happen. Irby and those kind of guys, the older guys and the younger guys, are going to allow any letdowns that are going to happen in this game because they believe, Jacob Cowling's playing. They believe this is an important game for not only for them but also for the program. And I don't think that they're going to be. I think they're going to be on fire when they start this game on Thursday night.
All right, Thursday, we're going to have our Meridian Wealth Management pregame show coming up. We'll start at 3 o'clock for the kickoff at 7:30. Glenn, give the folks an indication of some of the people they might hear from on Thursday.
Well, we're going to have the guy that kicked the field goal, the 6-3. We're going to have Doug Pfaff on there. We're going to have him on. And then we're going to have George Malululu, who is, if you watch that game, that guy was taking some hits, boy. That guy was like, he was running that run and shoot, whatever we were running there. George had a fantastic game, I thought. Looking at that game again, of how leading our squad down and just leading us to that victory. And those guys, you look at that team, man, that team that won that 6-3 game. You had Glenn Parker, you had John Fina that was playing in that game. You had, George Malululu. You had all these different guys, some really good players on that team. If you look at that roster that was on that team that beat that Oklahoma team that was a really good team at that time. And it's going to be fun to reminisce with George and with Doug and to find out, what was the vibe on that day of that game. That's what I'm really interested on hearing from those guys from a firsthand experience.
All right, well, it'll be fun to listen to those guys tell those stories. You'll want to be with us on Thursday starting at 3 o'clock. We'll have you from 3 to 6 for the Meridian Wealth Management pregame show ahead of Arizona's appearance in the Alamo Bowl against Oklahoma. Glenn, we'll see you then.
All right, bear down.
Thanks to Coors Light for bringing you today's Arizona Insiders on Wildcats Radio 1290. Coors Light, official corporate sponsors of Arizona Athletics. There's nothing like game day in Arizona.
All right, when we come back, we're going to go down to San Antonio and hear from some of the Arizona players, both offense and defense coordinators Johnny Nansen and Brennan Carroll as well at a press conference today. It's DK on the Sports Tip. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
From the O'Reilly Chevrolet Traffic Center, it's Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together. River Road near Craycroft, new wreck reported on River to the east of Craycroft. Crash Grant Road near Wilmot, that might be off on private property, and also clearing Harrison and Golf Links and Harrison. Clear skies, 37 our low, mostly sunny and 63 tomorrow and 58 now. I'm Cricket with your Wildcats Radio 1290 traffic and weather together.
This report is sponsored by Pfizer. As the world keeps changing, so does COVID-19. That's why this season's COVID-19 shots have been updated. They're designed to help protect against recent variants. Learn more about a COVID-19 vaccine option at schedulecovidvax.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
1290 brings you the passion of football like no one else.
So it's 3rd and 19 now from the LA 31. Snap to Stafford. 7-step deep drop. Climbs the pocket. Throws it deep ball far side. Caught wide open. Caught at the 30. Running right to the 20. Back to the left 10. 5. Touchdown. How did Cooper Kupp
This season, 1290 will bring you almost 100 NFL and college football games. It's not flexing. It's just the truth. Scoreboard 1290. Wildcats Radio 1290.
Jingle all the way to Desert Diamond Casino. There are next-level thrills, a whole lot of winning, and so much more in store this month.
Let's hear it.
First up, it's $1 Million Pro Football Frenzy and 10K Saturday. Then there's Holiday Gift Grab and the Road to Riches finale.
Wow!
And be sure to check out fantastic live entertainment at the Diamond Center with Gary Allen, clairvoyance, and more.
Rock on!
Then on New Year's Eve, it's New Year's Eve Hot Seats Frenzy at Sahuarita and Tucson. And you can win your share of $25,000 at Tucson with New Year's Eve Cash Train.
That's true, Tucson.
All this plus your favorite slots and table games, Arizona's finest sportsbook, and delicious food and drink specials.
It's all here at Desert Diamond Casinos.
True.
An enterprise of the Thana Autumn Nation.
See Rewards Center for details.
Go Wildcats! As the new season starts, the Tucson Police Department bears down with the Tucson community. We are looking to build our team, and we need you. Interested in joining our starting lineup? Visit jointucsonpd.org. Join our team and score a great career. From our commissioned officers to our professional staff, the Tucson Police Department proudly stands behind the Arizona Wildcats. Bear down and apply today at jointucsonpd.org.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
Don't let heating or plumbing problems spoil your holidays. I'm Ron Arenas, the owner of Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing. We'd like to wish you a safe and happy holiday season and a very Merry Christmas. When you need us, call 520-440-4069 for honest service to the Tucson area for over 22 years.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Well, it's that time of year. You dress the kids up for the holiday parties, and they hate it. You dress everybody up for the annual holiday card picture, and, well, everybody hates that. You even dress the turkey,